Alrighty, Alex, what are we doing today?
Today we're gonna break down some fucking debate thing. Like honestly, like I don't even like I've had so many guys message me about this debate. Like, yo, did you see the debate? Marcus fucking destroyed this. And I'm like, no, like I haven't seen it. I have no idea, but it's gonna be interesting. So whatever it is, we'll get my first time like fresh, genuine reaction. What are we watching?
Alex doesn't even watch my debates. It's fucked up. This is the type of support I get from you. Yeah, all right. So this is Game Global. The debate was it's the stupidest fucking debate topic, okay? Solid game versus fast game. But my argument here is fast game is solid game.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Like, how could it not be? If you can get the same result in a quicker time, is better.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, how you been, Swifty?
Yeah, amazing. I'm in Bali now. Waiting for Alex to come here and do some night game with me.
Yeah, dude. I'm literally like, I'm in the process of just fucking cleaning up my apartment and getting everything out of here. I'll be out of here likely later today in a couple hours or tomorrow, and then we'll fucking see where I go. I have nothing planned. I'm completely free, completely flexible. I'll probably fuck around in Europe for a bit and then head to Asia.
Hey. We have a boot camp coming up in Bali, actually.
We do.
Are there any spots left on that, Alex?
Like one or two.
All right. Well, fuck it, boys. If you want a spot on the Bali boot camp, I don't know. What do? They message Alex, basically.
Yeah, like I think the easiest thing to go from here would just be like, hit me up on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram in the comments. If you message me there, I can get you all the details. We can get on a call if you want more information, or we'll take it from there.
If Alex doesn't reply to you on Instagram because he's got so many fucking girls hitting him up on there, then just message again, okay? You're gonna have to be persistent, right? You're gonna have to double text sometimes. So
my Instagram is the biggest fucking mess. It's the biggest mess you'll ever see. It's war, basically.
He's also very available. He just told us that he's super available too. So he has like all the time in the world to reply to you.
If you want like free advice or coaching, just spam me.
Hey, even if you're just not really interested in Bali, just call out. He just likes to talk to people.
Yeah,
so if you just want to chat with Alex for like 30 minutes or something, just send him a message on Instagram.
Yeah, I always reply.
Yeah, every time. Alrighty, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let me get this screen share working. Second, boys. So you're gonna have to tell me like exact, because this is like a 3-hour video. So you have to tell
me. I think we should probably just watch the 3 hours first. We'll just sit here and watch it, and then we'll little by little after the 3 hours.
I mean, that's perfect. Okay, can you guys see it as well?
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
Okay. I should probably full screen. Is that better or worse? I don't know. We'll probably just watch it from here, right?
No, we could start with 6:45. Mark explains fast escalation.
6:45. So here, is it possible?
Then you're gonna have Eric right after that explain why it's not effective.
Okay, I mean, first of all, let's just start here that I don't think I've ever pulled a girl in my entire life in longer than like 4 hours. Let's just start there. And I don't think I've ever seen students need longer either.
There was one time, I will admit, there was one time, bro. I remember this. Okay, I remember this fucking pull. I got to Ivy to the club. This was years ago. I got to the club. It was I think it was Valentine's Day. I'm in the line and I start talking to this hot German girl. Okay, in the line. It's like 9 p.m. or some shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I pull this girl at 3 a.m. Okay, so that was my longest pull ever. All right. But back then I wasn't as good dealing with the friend objection. She's like, look, I'm gonna come home with you 1,000%. I just need to wait for my friend to like go. Otherwise, you should not be doing some fucking mystery 12-hour bullshit. But anyway, there you go.
Bro, were you like questioning your entire existence when you needed that many hours to pull?
No, but do you know what? I had a great time. We just laid across the pool there, and I just chilled with a girl and a friend for hours, man. It was such a relaxing feeling knowing that this is in the bag. I'm
this debate, Eric is going to accuse you of not having fun game. not having fun while you game. So
I'm not having fun, and also I don't have a high lay count is his other claim. And there was
you're
one
gonna see a lot of coping why he takes 7 hours to 3 weeks to close. It's fun.
Yeah,
I know Alex I know he would have so much fun if it took Alex 10 hours to close from my game or day game or something.
It wouldn't be frustrating.
Yeah, I mean that would be a new experience.
There would be like 3 new punched holes in the apartment. They would take your fucking deposit.
Yeah. Oh, bro, I would lose a lot of money from that. All right, fuck it. Let's get right into it. So here, right? Is that 6:45?
It's 6:45. Yeah.
Okay.
You could even
no, not 6:46, 6:45.
Yeah, I'm 6:43. Is that okay, guys? Let's go.
Someone would like to start for us.
Can you hear the audio too?
Turn it up.
Yeah, up.
Yeah, I'd probably just like to make a little opening too. Essentially, I think sex is amazing. I like sex. I think every girl fucking loves sex. And when it comes to interactions, the better we can get to a sexual experience, the better for both of you. It creates...
Just to check, you guys can hear this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. A bonding between you. It really increases chasing frame and power dynamic on your side here, so she chases more. And so yeah, that's what I want to get to as soon as possible. And if you have the skills to do that, then why not? Now, obviously, if you're a student that has no idea what he's doing, you might want to tell him to take it a little bit slow. But if you have a student or someone that knows how to escalate smoothly and can get the girl to a state where she's craving to have sex with you on the first night, then I don't see why you wouldn't do it.
All right, well, let's stop here for a second because I watched this like 2 times.
Sure.
This is where Mark, like right out of the gate, just triggers the fuck out of this guy. Okay. So I was trying to figure out, like, why is he like very defensive and a little bit pissed off, or he's on the defensive, and I realized it was the opening statement by Mark here, because he said student, so he kind of student framed this guy a little bit, right? So this guy's thinking, you're talking about me in my game, the slower game, right? So Mark is already sort of using these sort of special tactics in this debate to kind of throw him off a little bit.
Right.
Completely my intention. Correct.
Well, let's do that too. Let's analyze his debate techniques a bit too, because I think that's probably fuck.
We can do that.
Yeah. Well, actually, Mark can do that breakdown as we go through it. It's interesting.
Yeah. First step is where
the question though is,
throw them all.
Did you say something?
Yeah, no, sorry, go for it, bro.
Okay.
Are the majority of women open to that fast escalation the majority of the time? And I don't think that they are. I think the majority of women may be open to fast escalation, just not the majority of the time. Therefore, pursuing a fast escalation strategy may be your preferred method, but it's not the most effective method more broadly.
Well, hold on. First of all, if he's saying that they will be receptive to it, but not most of the time, well, the entire fucking thing, what you're doing is you're creating the environment where they will be receptive to it. You can't assume that you're going to be receptive to it just like straight off the bat. I mean, that's like skipping off the structure. You spend the entire like beginning of the interaction spiking emotions, building value, and actually getting her into the fucking headspace where she would be receptive to fast escalation, as he calls it. So I mean, the entire fucking point of game is to create that environment. My opinion.
True. Okay, so that's a good question. What do we think the percentages are here? How many women do you come across that are? And by the way, fast escalation, I'm assuming we mean first night. Is that's what I'm going by?
Okay, well, hold on. That's also really interesting, because when I hear fast escalation, I'm thinking like, yo, I'm pulling and fucking this girl within 5 minutes. So me and him might have a completely different definition of what the fast escalation is. Let's hear this.
Well, so there's a 7-hour rule that Mystery came up with, right? That says that on average, it takes between 4 to 10 hours from meeting a woman to beginning a sexual relationship with the average being at about 7 hours. So on the
what?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I thought he meant like 5 minutes. He's talking about 7 hours.
Bro, it's even worse. It's worse than this, because I had this debate with Mystery like 2017. So it's like you can sleep with a girl you know, in the 7-hour range. Usually 10 hours is best. But he says if you want good retention, it has to be way more than 10 hours.
No.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
no.
you've got to fuck her anywhere between 7 or more than 10, like between 10 and like 14, 18 hours. Some of that is also like cuddling and having the girl over. So if you could have, if you spend like, and I told him, I was like, what the fuck is this? How are you going to like pull a girl or spend like, dude, that's a long time, like 4 or 5 hours with a girl in the club. That's kind of difficult. But what are you doing? 9 p.m. until 1 p.m. the next day, 2 p.m. the next day? Like, we got shit to do. Like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, there was one point where I had a rotation of over 50 girls at the same time. None of those did I ever spend even like a few hours even before pulling. Like, not a single one of them. I fucking retained every single one.
That's not possible. That's not possible.
This is already getting really ridiculous. So it's gonna get real fun.
Short end, it could be 4 hours. On the long end, it could be 10 hours with an average of about 7 hours of FaceTime with her.
So my interjection immediately is this is based on Mystery's model, based on Mystery's techniques, based on Mystery's technology and what he's been able to do based on that. And so obviously it works for him, it works for his students. And the question is, if you have a completely different viewpoint, if you can see things that other people can't see, and you understand the power of communicating with someone's subconscious mind to elicit and evoke emotions, then the whole idea of the average woman.
If you want to go to like 10, like, I don't know, I had to like skip through. I don't know who this guy is. But,
yeah, he's just being really nice here. Basically, he's saying Mystery and his students are fucking shit. So yeah, for them, you might want to spend fucking 17 hours with a girl before anything happens.
Yeah,
but that's only for them, and it's not for us. He says it in a very pleasant, nice way.
Okay, all right. He was being diplomatic about it. You get it.
Yeah, you can go to like 10:08 is
10:08. All right, 10:06 is good enough for you.
Or is
all right, let's go.
Well, let me pop in and just say this is not just Mystery's model. This has also been true according to my experience as well. Faster escalation,
I don't doubt that,
can take place if you have solid game, if you have good game. You know, you can trigger arousal and, you know, strong emotional responses quickly. You know, women from a biological standpoint can be ready for sex within a matter of minutes or seconds, right? But with social conditioning on top of that, when you go out, the majority.
Bro, you're in the US.
Yeah,
he's in the US. This social conditioning doesn't exist with American girls. This could be true. Maybe if you were in like
not even.
Nah, not even. Scratch.
Majority of women are in groups. If you're meeting them in a night game scenario. Online dating, are they going to go from an online dating platform to sex within a matter of a few hours the majority of the time? Are they going to go from a grocery store, a day game approach, to having sex within a few hours the majority of time? And then if you're in a social circle situation, you're networking with people, you're out with mutual friends, are they going to peel away from the group and have sex with you in a few hours?
Yes. Social circle will be much quicker than anything else in my experience. I mean, even quicker than cold approach, which would still be in like an hour.
What do you think?
The majority of
that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, what do you think, Mark?
Quicker in social circle, or
yeah.
Depends how you're running it, right? Like if you are doing social circle and you guys are going out to like a party or some shit and you're trying to like nurture leads there, then yeah, I'm probably not just gonna like pull that girl straight away. But in a social circle setting, you just have like so much more value going on here, and it's just a warm thing. So it's going to be a lot easier. It's basically going to come down to, do you just want to like lead the party and like fuck the girl? Then yeah, you can do it like right away. But if you want to like nurture a bunch of leads or try to set up like group sex and stuff like that, then yeah, you might want to wait towards the end of the night.
Right.
Time. The answer is the majority of women are not open to this type of game the majority of the time. Therefore, it's a less effective style of game the majority of the time.
I mean, I completely agree with you. I think that's 100% right. I think if we look at data, we see that about half the people in the population are open to, let's say, like a one-night stand, which they consider like fast escalation, let's say within 4 hours. I think if you look at data, it's about 21% of women would say they're open to a one-night stand. I agree with that. With most men, and with like the very slow method that Mystery seems to promote here, which has almost zero sexual authority, which has almost zero like objection handling. It's basically just sit by, let's try and make this girl comfortable as if you're on a date with your grandmother, and let's take it like really slow. Yeah, I think you'll probably hit those stats. You'll probably hit about 20% of girls that might make a move and might want this to be a little bit more, fast. But fuck that. Listen, what I like to teach is, okay, 20% of women are comfortable with a one-night stand or like a quick escalation with most men. Don't be most men, all right? We're going to... I'm different than these guys. I don't give a fuck about comfort. I just want a little bit of trust with her, and then I'm building crazy amounts of sexual tension, and I'm having a lot of authority here. And if she has any concerns, we're going to deal with them. So I agree. Like, there's a lot of societal concerns that most girls have where they feel like a slut. We just need to get out of that dynamic where it's like, hey, I actually think it's amazing that you can be sexually open. And these are the, we want to get to a point where we can explore your sexual kinks and have amazing pleasure and fuck what society thinks. And then you start to see a reversal here where most women primarily really enjoy sex and would love to have it if there are no societal issues around that. And so you just create that dynamic. And then I think you face a situation where most women will want to have sex quickly.
Well, so I knew I was going to win somebody over on this debate to my side. I thought it might be Ross, but I guess I've already won Marcus over. So you were...
I'm sorry. This guy's a fucking moron. I'm so sorry. This triggered the fuck out of me right here. Like, I was being fairly, I guess, like, nice, right? I wasn't, this guy clearly has no idea what he's fucking doing. He's clearly awful with women. He's clearly, like, we know that coming into this. But I was like, coming to the debate being like, look, I'm just going to, say what the truth is here. I'm not going to, like, challenge him too much or put him in uncomfortable positions. I'll try. But then when I said, like, yeah, look, I agree with you that women do have, like, limiting beliefs. It's just our job to get over them. He's like, yes, I'm glad I won the debate, and I'm glad I've proved you right. I'm glad you agree with me on everything. And I was like, all right, fuck this guy, right? Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Keep going.
All right, so we're having a chat. Running solid game is just a buzzword for you having shitty game and justifying your own failure of not being able to pull at all.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Spot on.
Agree that the majority of women are not open to fast escalation the majority of the time. Therefore, running fast escalation game is not the most effective style of game to run the majordi of the time.
Sorry, yeah. Hang on, there's it. Hang on.
Fuck, I don't know if you're talking
Yeah, fuck. I don't know what I'm talking. All right, go for it. Let me just respond to that 1 second. There's it. Yeah, 100%. For men that have no idea how to do it. So if I just took someone off the street and I could teach him nothing other than, hey, what should I do? Should I try just like fuck this girl within 1 hour, or should I take it a little bit more slow? I'd probably say I wouldn't say 4 hours or like 7 hours, but I would say take it a little bit more slow. But that's not what we're dealing with here. We're saying like, if you could teach someone, or like what's more optimal for someone that's advanced, then 100% every single time is going to be doing it faster. 100%.
So you think though that the majority of the time you can pull a woman fast? Like the majority of women will go home with you quickly.
Yes, all around the world. In Eastern Europe, where there's a lot of... I actually did a year where I tracked this, and literally it was like 95% of girls were on that first night, and my dates are usually 1 hour or one drink, or they're coming straight to the house. If it's night game, then it's going to be a little bit more skewed depending on like what obstacles I'm dealing with here. I've had, to the more extreme example, sometimes where girls like really don't want to leave their friends, and I'll wait a few hours at the club for that to happen. But the point there isn't I'm waiting because I don't think she's ready. She's down, or we're like going to the bathroom in the club or some shit, but it might just be a logistical reason there. But those are the rare occasions. So yes, out of all my closes, which is like over 600, almost all of them have probably been within that 4 hour mark that you think is
Russ, I want to let you talk, but I just got to pin you down on this. So 95% of the women that you approach are going home with you within a matter of a few hours. I don't know anybody who has...
You're mistaking what I'm saying. Please hear that.
But
Please,
sorry, I'm not saying 95% of girls that I look at or that I say hello to are coming home with me. Obviously, there's going to be girls that have boyfriends and things like that and whatever. I'm saying like 95% of the girls that I like build attraction with or I'm closing is going to be within that time frame, and it's not going to be, you know, I need to wait like 3 weeks, 3 days, 10 hours.
Who's saying to wait 3 weeks? And who's saying comfort is like hanging out with your grandma? These you're making up these terms.
No, that's exactly what it feels like. I don't want a girl to say, because I've seen the escalation model and I've seen a lot of guys that use this, and it is you're trying to create comfort through sitting there and asking us some like personal questions or like hanging out. There's very little sexual tension that ever happens, except for like maybe some kino escalation where you're sitting there, you're having a conversation, and then you're like trying to touch your shoulder or some shit.
We build massive sexual tension. That's
why you're not closing these goals earlier.
That's why we slow it down.
No, you're not building.
Stop.
I feel bad.
Yeah, I don't, but. You're being very nice here in this whole. Yeah, you could have really triggered this guy.
Can any of you imagine this guy building crazy amounts of sexual tension?
There's no fucking chance.
I like to give the benefit of the doubt. Like usually, I'm also like you. Like I'm very diplomatic. Like when I talk to people, I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna be polite. I'm gonna, stick to facts and shit. But like, that would be hard for me here, to be honest, because this is getting like really fucking retarded.
I mean, it's very clear later on where he describes what massive amounts of sexual escalation and tension look like and how he does it. And it's going to become very clear that it is a date with his grandma. It's
Mark, he says, Alex, it's later in the debate, he says that he created a game that his mother would approve of. Okay, so yeah,
that makes. I mean, if you would do that, it's just that just sounds like. Did he actually say that?
No, that's the words he used. Yes.
I mean,
word for word.
That's really fucking weird. That's like a girl saying like, "I'm gonna learn to suck dick in a way that my dad would approve of." Really, what's the difference? It's the same thing here. Anyways.
Not building massive sexual tension. There isn't. I'm sorry. If there's massive sexual tension, then we probably have different definitions. Okay, massive sexual tension. When I hear that, the girl is all over you. She's talking about her fantasies. She's talking about how she wants you to fuck her later. That is like massive sexual tension. If you're just talking about like the girl holding eye contact, then that's not massive sexual tension.
I want to interject something.
Sorry, go for it, Ross.
When you use the word escalation, there's an implication embedded inside of that. The implication is that these things necessarily
you want to skip this guy
have to happen sequentially.
Okay.
Because sometimes it takes for a little bit long.
I mean, maybe we should just like really quickly define like when we hear sexual tension, like what's the first thing that comes to your guys' mind? Because it seems like the entire thing with this debate is that we seem to have very different definitions of everything. He says fast escalation. For him, that's like a long time. For me, fast escalation is like, I'm pulling this girl in like within 3 minutes of saying hi. So his definition and my definition of sexual tension is probably going to be very different. So what do you guys think of when you're telling a student like, I want you to create sexual tension? Like, what's the end goal for him there?
Yeah, maybe because I ask him this. Maybe we go to, is it 2450 you have here?
2450.
He clowns you. He clowns you a little bit. So
let's do it.
2450 right here.
I'm gonna argue with Marcus.
No, you're all right, bro. It's
no. So here, let me just clarify real quick. I'm a defender of solid game, but when it comes to fast escalation game, Ross's style of game where you are using certain trigger words, you're entering certain states of mind yourself to evoke subconscious sexual responses. That is much more effective than what I've heard you propose, Marcus, which is telling the woman right away that you're going to bring her back to your place for drinks, telling her you're going to give her all these orgasms, like immediately, like, oh, I bet most guys don't know how to please you in bed. You really say that stuff to women right away?
Look, when he's look. Okay, first of all, look at his face right now.
Yeah, triggered.
Everybody, I'm sure everybody listening to this recognizes this tone, this body language, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody had like a woman.
Feminist.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So, literally, like the motherfuckers with blue hair, when they get like angry and they start yelling on like the Instagram reels, it's the same body language here. Yeah.
All right. Let's do 1.5x2. That's a good point, Bastion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Playback speed. Okay. 1.5x sexual tension. Let's go.
Oh, dang, you speak to women that way. Yeah, obviously you've never seen our game, which is fine. I can explain it to you. So if you want to move from someone that basically sits there for 7 hours on a date and basically waits and hopes for a girl to make a move, or you slowly try to like touch her shoulder and then, who knows, maybe hold her hand, there are ways you can show sexual authority. So I don't think about it as sexual escalation. I think about it as sexual authority. We want to move a girl to a place where basically she comes to a point where she's like, wow, this guy's amazing in bed and I want to sleep with him and I know he's not going to judge me. He's not going to sit here 7 hours on a date and treat me like I should have to wait or that I can't express my sexual desires early. So yeah, there's ways you can go about this. The first one is showing understanding. So instead of saying, hey, I want to fuck you later, you can say like, hey, I'm curious. What type of guy you typically into, right? The girl can give the answer. And then you to give her a cold read. You tell her what you think. Look, I can tell you're very feminine, okay? You need a very masculine and dominant man, which we know from data. It's like 90% of girls, the 50 Shades Grey effect, right? Is they like a dominant guy. So this is your first step in, and then you can lead the interaction forward. So yes, it does reach a point where the girl can talk about orgasms. You can talk about how many orgasms you can give her. You can talk about her fantasies and how you're going to tie her up. There's a whole process that leads to this. It's not just escalation and putting it on her and being like, I want to fuck you. It's allowing her to enter that space. It's allowing her to talk about it. It's allowing her to escalate with it. So yeah, you can reach a space where this girl is thinking about that, and I guarantee her fucking brain is going to be lighting up on an fMRI. She's thinking about orgasms. So of course, I think fast escalation is going to be good when I see the evidence of it working. It sounds like you just haven't seen the evidence of it working yet.
Okay. Ooh, so I'm not going to get into my personal experiences with fast escalation. But
I mean, look, you see the what this like bookmark is called. Can you pull women in less than 4 hours? Fuck me, man. Like this thing here. What do you call it? Like the timestamp is called. Can you pull? How is this even a question? Can you pull women in less than 4 hours? All right.
What I'll say is the guys that bring up sexual topics like this very early on, the majority of women are going back to their friends and going, "Oh my God, he was kind of creepy." Like that's not the.
And how does he know that?
Because again, like his fast escalation technique is what he said. Is going up to a girl and being like, "I want to take you home." That's what his idea of it was. He said, "You just go up to a girl and say, hey, come home and have sex with me now." Like that. That's what he thinks his version of fast escalation is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really bad thing to do in a debate is to really make these assumptions, about someone's method without knowing like exactly what it entails. Mm-hmm. Like to make these statements in a debate with like without having the information or without even asking for it is it's not good.
Majority of women,
so if that happened to you, can you explain what you did for that to happen? Right? So how did you bring up sexual topics early?
I can't tear down every single straw man argument you throw at me. Hear me out.
Let's go to
excuse me,
what straw man argument did I just create? Straw man argument. Personal experience is that if you do this, women are repelled.
Yeah.
Let's go to 4627. This is where he explains his escalation process.
What was it? 4627?
4627. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it might be actually 50-20. He starts to explain it, but he doesn't. But we could watch the whole thing.
50-20 then. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Let's just watch it. It's nice fun.
So essentially, attraction, you can compartmentalize. You can break it up into personality-based attraction and physical attraction. If you meet the minimum attraction threshold in both the physicality department and personality department, you have attraction. Some women, depending on their ideal, what they're looking for, physical attraction is enough. They don't need to know much about a guy's person.
Well, I think he's missing out on a lot of other attraction triggers there as well. I think there's way more than just like personality and physical. I mean, we have like social proof and pre-selection. It doesn't really fit into any of those categories, I think. So I think it's a little bit more complex than that. But as a simplification, I guess.
Personality, and they're willing to hook up, right? So you can go from attraction to physically escalating in my model relatively quickly if you want to. It's just the majority of women. This is why I hate generalizing, right?
Okay, and how basically escalate?
But he's doing that. He's saying the majority of. I hate generalizing. They don't really go together.
True.
Did you say something, or was that in the video? Did you want me
No,
to?
yeah, go on.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I should like put my hands up or something.
Yeah. If you want me to pause, say pause. Otherwise, I won't know if it's your.
All right, good.
So you have attraction. This girl sees you and she's like, "Damn, nice beard, pretty face. This guy's you seem like pretty muscular. Wow, I want this guy." You got attraction. How do you escalate?
If I'm going for fast escalation?
Yeah, fast. You said you've done fast escalation, doesn't work for you as well.
Yeah, so usually my fast escalation can go a few different ways, right? I may say something a little more brazen and a little more sexual. I might do some kind of sexual seeding or set some sort of sexual frame similar to what you've been describing, but I'm much more I'm much more a fan of raw.
What did you describe to him, just so I have context? Because he said, as you described. How did you describe it to him?
What did I describe to him? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah. In terms of like escalation, setting sexual frames, etc.
I might have just what I said before, maybe. And I was basically asking him, okay, how do you set fast escalation? Because I said to him, like, I can just imagine the way he's escalating is literally like looking at a goal with longer eye contact and touching her on the shoulder or some shit. So I was like, okay, enlighten me. What's the way you fast escalate? Like, let's hear it. Where's your wisdom come from?
Okay.
Ross's style of sexualizing interactions, which is using a lot of sexual undertones, getting the woman to open up about deeper aspects of herself, triggering an emotional and psychological arousal by a deeper subconscious bond, as opposed to just laying a sexual.
I mean, I'm hearing a lot of vague.
Thank you for the validation. What you're not getting is you can do it with an aggregate total time of 45 minutes if you're skilled, 2 hours if you're moderate or a beginner. And if you want proof, go to seduction.com, download the conversation code. It's absolutely free. You don't have to pay me anything. It'll show you how to start conversing with women where you can create these states. If you're an amateur, 2 hours. If you're good, 45 minutes to an hour. Go try it for yourself. Don't believe me. Assume I'm a crazy old senile man with systemic Lewy dementia, but just download it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, never listen to me again. I always
let me just read out some quick comments here. So one guy was saying,
yeah.
Go to 50-20.
50-20. Okay, 50-20. How a blaze escalates. Okay.
Marcus, I gotta bring something up too that you said earlier, because I've jotted a few notes down here so we don't miss any spots, right? So you've implied.
I'd still love to know how you escalate, but go for it.
Sure. No, let's go there real quick. So I'll share a few tips on how I escalate. I can't give away the whole farm on a free Zoom call, right? Guys got to get some coaching with me to learn the full spiel, right?
Well, see, actually, I mean, look, and I think that's a really bad mindset also, just like business-wise. Like, if we look at our YouTube channel, we're not holding back. We're not fucking gatekeeping shit. Like, all the text game you can find in the live streams. It's completely like open source. So, every time someone says that they can't give this away, they can't do that, to me that's red flag. That's really red flag.
My first thought was the thousands of hours that we have of video content explaining everything in the Mastermind.
Yeah.
And this guy can't give away like one brief like routine on how he escalates.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but hey, listen, wait till you hear this routine. Everyone's confusing. Okay, this is amazing. This is all
that's bold to assume as well. It's bold to assume anyone wants to use that shit, but
But I'm not asking for 4 Alexa. I'm just asking like some very practical explanations of what interactions look like when you escalate.
Yeah. So when I first will meet a woman, typically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a sexual charge within my body. Okay. I'm going to talk about things that are not sexual, but I'm going to subconsciously charge myself up sexually, and that often happens naturally if I'm really attracted to a woman, right?
See, it's already getting too much woo-woo. Like, how do you actually tell a student, like, hey, like, I want you to go and supercharge your sexual energy and subconsciously like turn yourself on, or like whatever the fuck he said? Like, it's just in terms of
your dick in a socket, bro. That's how. All right, charge it up.
Yeah, I mean, what does that look like? Like, you jerk off in your room before you go out, or what? Like I'm genuinely curious. Like, what does that actually look like? Or do you just like sit and do you think of some girl, like as you're like imagining a girl or something, or like what exactly is this?
All right, well, listen, Alex. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Swift, go for it.
No, I was gonna say that it's low sex drive. It's low T.
Yeah,
like when I'm eating 1,500 calories for a few weeks, like my fucking sex drive is lower. I've got to charge myself up a little bit, right? But I mean, this is not a game issue. This is just diet. Take some supplements, get your T up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can understand if, let's say, if I have a student and like he doesn't have much experience gaming, and he would say like, yo, bro, like I need to gather some courage to do this. Like, I'm not used to it. I have a lot of anxiety. I'm cool. Like, I fucking get it. Like, it's understandable. But if you're coaching, you need to charge yourself up to talk to a girl. And it's not already like your default state to just go in and be on, talk to a girl. Like, I mean, you got work to do.
I mean, what we do is dirty talk the student a little bit, get them kind of in the mood, get them going, we fucking charge them up. It's part of the Bali boot camp program if you want to join it, okay? If you have this issue, we'll solve it.
Yeah, but you can't audio record it because we can't give it away. We can't risk that.
Secrets of
giving away the dirty talk techniques. Yeah.
Actually, do you remember that one talking about hand jobs on the side to get people charged? Do you remember that one boot camp we had where we did sex coaching? We brought a few girls in, and then the girls were just like, should we show the guys our hand job techniques?
That was fucking crazy. That was crazy.
How much fun. All right, anyway, sorry. Sexually charged. Let's see what's
typically going to do is I'm going to escalate as small as I possibly can and test to see how she responds. So usually what that entails is holding eye contact with her for a split second longer than normal eye contact is. So instead of looking at her and looking away, she's going to get the tiniest bit of eye contact that goes above and beyond a friendly conversation. And then I'm going to release that tension and see the reaction that I get.
Well, first on, I would just like to interject here a little bit, and I would say that it would actually, I think it would be much more effective to do it a little bit differently. So let's say that when you start introducing the stronger eye contact, like I want to hold it until she breaks it, because essentially when she's breaking it, she's basically like submitting. So because I want to put a lot of tension on her. I want her to feel like, I want her to start feeling like fucking butterflies, for like a lack of a better word. So, I don't want to hold it for a split second longer. I want to hold it until she breaks it. And, she's probably going to do that by like giggling or something like that. And that's when you know that she's actually starting to get like turned on. So just in terms of like the eye contact advice already, I actually totally disagree with it.
I think he's releasing that tension for himself over and over again. I don't think he can handle the tension, right? Like first he has to charge himself up to talk to a girl, or hey, you got anxiety, that's cool, but to like sexualize, to build tension, you got to charge yourself up, right? Like, I think that's the problem with getting coaching from guys who aren't very good, very experienced, right?
Yeah.
Because like you're gonna see a lot of coping sort of in their own game, right? What they teach.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredibly ineffective unless, well, I mean, it's ineffective for this guy as well.
Yeah. No, of course. I mean, I agree with the concept of baby stepping. Like, I think you should like baby step in terms of compliance, right? But like, you need to be very careful about the way you do it, because if you're baby stepping too much, the girl could actually start thinking that you're being too passive, and that that you're kind of like lacking confidence. That it's a very fine line. It's a very fine line to walk. So that you guys just be aware of that. Like, of course, you should baby step. Like, don't go 0 to 100 ever, right? But
I mean, you can if you have the experience and the confidence, right? If your delivery is on point.
Well, actually,
right? The framing is on point.
Swift can go 0 to 100.
I get lazy with baby stepping. Like, let me talk about relationships. Let me do this. Let me do that. I'm like, fuck this shit. I want to go 0 to 100, but you can't hesitate. I know that if I'm like a little bit tired, I'm like, fuck, I'm not sure about this. It's not going to come off super confident, super calibrated.
It's in the
subcoms. Then I think maybe baby, it's in the subcoms, right?
Yeah, it's in the subcoms. All right, we can keep listening. So you mentioned eye contact.
Appear to get signals that it's working. I may hold eye contact for a little bit longer. I'm going to start more directly facing my attention and my sexual energy on her. I'm maybe going to let that sexual energy seep out a little bit more in my voice as I speak with her. And then at some point, I may say something more sexually overt to see how she responds. I'm going to share one of my favorite ways to do that right here for free, right?
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Thanks.
Prepare yourself. Okay, everyone in chat, just get ready. Okay. If you're distracted, turn the TV off. Like, put down Tinder. Okay, get ready.
Yeah.
This is going to change your dating fast escalation game forever.
Yeah. Guys, screen record this. Like, share it on your Discord, because this is going to be fire. Let's hear it.
I will say to her, I want to tell you something. I got a secret for you, right? This is, we're just imagining a night game scenario. So there's a lot of noise going around. There's people socializing. Maybe we're at a party. I have a secret for you. And she comes in and I whisper in her ear. I say, you're really fucking hot. You know that? And then I pull back and I go, yep, I said it. And then I'll maybe give her.
He said it. I said it. All right. I want to role play this, Alex. Okay, listen, you're the hot Swedish girl, okay?
Yes.
We're gaming, all right? So, hey, do you have like a nice family and like, do you have like siblings?
Yeah, I have a brother.
Yeah, and I'm just holding eye contact for a second longer, and then I'm gonna turn away. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
I've got a secret that I haven't told anyone before, and I want to tell you.
Okay.
I think you're really hot.
Well, okay, like you fucking.
I said it. I said it.
You've been talking to me for 2 hours already. Like you've been talking to me. You don't think I fucking understand that as a woman? Why you're sitting here and talking to me?
Hey,
why did you
just see what I said?
The obvious actually makes me lose attraction. I'm like, okay, I guess thanks for the compliment, but like it didn't turn me on or anything. And like it didn't show me that you have experience. It didn't show me that you understand me. You just gave me validation for free.
Now reply to Mark or Eric. Reply to Mark like a hot Ukrainian girl would if you tell her you're hot, and then you go, "I said it." Okay. Now, Mark, you go ahead. Let's do the role play.
I think you're hot.
And
said it.
And are you gonna be man and make something or what?
10
minutes.
Like, what do you like to do for fun?
A little bit longer eye contact.
Nothing. Nothing.
All right, sorry. Let's get going. That's the big routine. All right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like this role play.
That's actually literally how Ukrainian girls talk. So.
Yeah, it's true. It's fun being
a little playful back turn.
Okay, we'll go back 5 seconds.
Fucking hot, you know that. And then I pull back and I go, yep, I said it. And then I'll maybe give her a little playful back turn. And then again, I'm going to test and see, did she get creeped out? Did I misread her? Is she like, oh my God, what did he just say? Or is she...
Well,
see,
why would she get creeped out?
That's a bad mindset. Like, why would she be creeped out if a guy that hopefully she's attracted to because she's been talking to for a while?
But that's the point. It's not. Like, the problem with this game is this is your friend, okay? This is the friend that you've made for the last 3 hours. And now, out of nowhere, you said, I think you're hot. So, yeah, it does feel creepy, right? Like, if this is a girl that, like, is into you and you have, like, sexual tension there and he's right, then it's never, ever creepy. You don't even for a second. But, like, if you just say this to, like, your colleague randomly or your friend or some shit, like, I mean, that's a problem. It's just, like, your friend's going and then is trying to say this.
And also, if you're gonna give her validation on something that she's actually earned or something that's a little bit more personalized. Because here you're just looking like literally every other guy.
Yeah.
And it's not something that she could qualify like even further on. It doesn't help in terms of setting a good frame. All you're actually doing here is you're just giving power away for literally like with nothing in return. Is you're giving away like chess pieces without making a move of your own, if that makes sense. It just doesn't make much sense strategically to me.
Looking at me with those doggy dinner bowl eyes, right? So if I'm going to sexualize quickly,
doggy dinner bowls?
I don't know, bro.
What?
I've never heard
did
that.
I fucking hear that right? Like, I'm sorry for stopping all the time, but I'm having fucking problems processing this.
Well, wait until you get to the 1 hour mark, because it's one of my favorites.
Oh, this will be fun.
I'm going to test and see, did she get creeped out? Did I misread her? Is she like, oh my God, what did he just say? Or is she looking at me with those doggy dinner bowl eyes, right? So if I'm going to sexualize quickly, I'm still going to test.
It's I think it's
I have to type it into Google. I've never heard this.
Doggy bowl eyes. I just think it's really misogynistic.
Is it like when a dog's hungry
and women to a dog? It's so misogynistic, man. Like, what the fuck?
Well, how would you ever say that to a woman?
Yeah, like, I don't think his mom would approve of that game. Like, comparing a woman to a dog. That's really misogynistic. I don't approve of misogyny.
All right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Test, see her response, sexually charge myself up a little bit. Then I'm going to say something that's a little bit sexual, and then I'm going to release. It's a game of moving forward and then release. It's not 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Why? Did he just? I missed that. Did he just say 1 step forward, 2 steps back?
Yeah.
He's 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
This is why it takes 10 fucking hours to fucking pull.
Bro, I missed that in the debate. He's literally moving backwards.
What?
Right,
I'm so fucking confused.
That's a small little That's a small little primer for how I will.
I mean, he must have misspoken there. There's no way that he actually meant that. Like, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he misspoke. But
I don't think
if he
so.
didn't, then it's fucked.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Sexually escalate quickly.
I mean, that's not sexually. I'm so sorry.
Let's
this
hear how
is
you do it. If you can one up me, let's hear it. Let's hear how you do it.
Okay, this is exactly what I thought. So basically, before when I said
Ego, if you can one up me, let's see it. Fucking ego triggered.
that your idea of sexual escalation is probably going to be something that's on, right? So what I meant by that is you're holding eye contact, sure, fine, I think that's great. And then your next move was basically giving the girl a compliment, saying you're hot. So yeah, this
That
is
was not my next move.
escalation.
That was not my next
Well,
move.
it's the next move you told me. I'm not saying sequentially.
No, I
like,
said that I
have to make
might
eye
do
contact.
that multiple times. I might have several moments of holding more eye contact.
Okay,
with her. And then I'll let the sexual energy charge up a little more as I communicate with her. I'll sexualize more. Then at some point when I think she's
Yeah, I mean, he sounds like very emotional and agitated when you put a little bit of pressure on him, and that's just not like a very masculine quality. Like, imagine, for example, you're on a date, and maybe the girl starts like giving you shit for like, oh, you're a player, or like, I don't know, maybe she would say like, let's say she gives like a one-night stand objection, or like, do you say this to all the girls you're gonna date, or so shit like that, and you start. And you can clearly see like an emotional reaction. You just lose all respect and attraction immediately. So just in terms of like general like masculinity and just like emotional stability, if you're on a date, you basically want to have the opposite reaction of what he's doing. Like, if, for example, if you're getting into some type of like discussion or even like a micro argument or like whatever with the girl, and you start getting defensive and you turn it into a battle, then it's gonna go completely to shit. Yeah, so don't do that.
ready, I'll say something like that to see how she responds. Let's be clear.
Okay, so we're holding eye contact, having sexual subcoms. Okay, so maybe you're speaking
Holding eye
slow.
contact for a split second longer than normal eye contact is.
Okay.
He's
All right,
talking
so a
about
little bit-
calibration. He's calibrating.
Yeah,
I'll just let you
that's
misinterpret. I'll just let you misinterpret what I've said, and then I'll correct you after. Go ahead.
I wasn't
No,
misinterpreting.
again, no, I'm sorry about this. There's been so many claims that I'm misinterpreting what you're saying. This is literally what I said before. I literally said your idea of escalation is probably going to be something like holding eye contact and then telling you want to take her home later. The equivalent of that is holding eye contact and telling you you're really fucking hot. Okay, that's exactly what I said before. So I don't see how I'm misinterpreting this. This is exactly what I thought. The idea here is, yes, for most guys, if you want to escalate, there's ways you can do this where it's on. This is how I consider it. There are ways where you can sit there and you can have sexual subcoms. So these are things going to be like holding slightly more eye contact. It's going to be things like lowering your tone. It's going to be things like stepping in a little bit closer. It's going to be like gazing up from her eyes and down to her lips. It's going to be telling her like, oh, you're so fucking amazing right now. Oh my God, you're driving me crazy. These are all like on escalations. What I consider as sexual authority and building tension is going to be, the subcoms are good. I think you should always have those. It's pretty like standard for everyone. But now I want to build the idea that I have pre-selection and I'm good in bed. I want to give her a reason to actually get turned on and a little bit horny in this situation. So yes, things like cold reads where I can sit back and say, oh yes, I can tell this is the type of guy you like. And then get into some sexual fantasy shit. So to give you like a longer explanation of this, what it would sound like is, hey, I can tell your type is, right? Like I already fucking know. She's like, oh, really? What do you think it is? Listen, you're a feminine girl. Okay, I can see this. This is a good thing. But you need a very like strong and masculine man to help balance this out, right? She's gonna be like, yes. I'll turn around and be like, look, every guy here is a fucking pussy. I can already see that. Every girl fucking agrees. If you're in someone like Spain, you can say every guy here is a little too up himself. He's a little bit machismo. It's going to change depending where you are. You hit her with a sexual cold read that she understands. Then the next move is, yeah, look, I can even see in the bedroom, you probably need a guy a little bit more masculine there too. Guys are probably a little bit too soft for you, right? Again, she's going to agree with that. And then we can slowly move it forward. Now where we...
What did he not like about that?
His mom wouldn't have preferred. His mom, actually, you know what? I won't say it. Never mind. All right. Sorry. Keep going.
Can say like, what do you think you're missing out on? What have you wanted to try that you've never been able to? So I'm never saying like, I really want to do this to you. It starts off with like a third person thing where she can explore, talk about it. And then I can start moving it to more like dirty talk where it can be like, look, and yeah, I agree. You do need that. Okay. And this is what I have in mind. Get it to say, oh, what is it? Hey, it's a little explicit. You sure? Yes. And then you escalate. So my idea of escalation isn't just some on thing where it's like, you're hot, I want you, because yeah, you're just going to get pushback from that. It's about building sexual tension, showing sexual authority, and having the girl invest in you that way. That's how you have fast escalation. Because if you're within an hour with the girl saying exactly what she wants, then she's going to want to go home with you.
No, for me, it's fun.
I would like to add.
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, so Marcus, from what you said there, actually, it sounds to me like it's not only about being very good at cool questionnaires. It sounds like your way is actually to find out what you think about a certain thing, and then using that context to whatever you want to do it.
That's a good.
By the way, watching this, like Mr. Silk was on point. This whole debate, like he made some very good points, and he backed it up with science, and he practically, indirectly, for the most part, backed up what Mark was saying. This entire debate, backed by science.
Yeah, I think the thing that a lot of guys are. Maybe misunderstanding a bit about our method is like it's actually incredibly tailored to the girl. Like my mindset, if I go on a date, for example, my mindset is to find out as much intel about the girl, about her psychology, and like what she's attracted to, and like what turns her on, like what is she into, and then I will use that, and like I will repackage it, and I will create a value proposition that is perfectly tailored for her. It's basically like like you can make a lot of like analogies between that and like sales, I guess. But essentially, you do like a needs analysis in a way, like but you know, obviously like more indirectly, and then you provide a solution. You tailor a solution that's like perfect for her. So like the way he like observed that was really good.
Like, if you want to say the guys are all pussies, it's not based on something I just remember, a line I remember. It's actually based on context. So if you ask her, for example, like, what type of guys do you actually like? Seriously now. And then she will say something. And then you just pause there, look her in the eye, and then like, you know what? I want to find out more. And then she might give you something more. Yeah. And then you just, take that. And then you say like, you know what? All those guys here in the club is pussies. So that kind of statement must have come from the context of whatever she said to you. Did I understand you correctly there?
Not necessarily. Yeah, so you're right here. You're right here. Like, I'm taking some of her information and then I'm using that to move it forward. So yeah, 100%. Like, I want to get some feedback. My initial feedback is that she's a woman in a club. So I'm already going to assume that she's going to want a strong masculine man. Like, that's like almost every single girl. And obviously, like the way she speaks to me, and sometimes I explain that to her, like, okay, she giggles and looks down a lot, or you know, whatever it might be. But you're right here. If I say like, oh, and you probably want this a little bit more in the bedroom, blah blah, I could ask you questions like, what have you wanted to explore that you haven't been able to? What type of
where's the fun?
And then where's the turn? Then she can turn around and say like, oh, like I've never been spanked before. I do.
That's fuck, it's like when the other guys start to agree with you, he comes with, but where's the fun?
Dude, it's
because
so
the
funny.
Other guys like validating what you're doing.
He realizes that, okay, this guy's right. He can have sex a lot quicker than me. He can probably get more girls than me. But maybe I can cope now by saying, I'm just enjoying it more. It's like, do you know if you do a sport and you just suck at it and you lose, but then you're like, oh, but I think I'm having more fun than everyone else. It's just about the fun. It's like, all right, we know where you're pivoting to now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a interesting switch.
You like to be choked, or I do like XYZ. And then as you said, Michael, then you use that, right? Tell me more. I'm interested, right?
I get the
picture for it,
Yeah, so in that sense, actually, now it's a little bit like what I said before about having conversation that matters. Like, every woman is saying something, and when you really listen to what she says, it's like, I can actually tweak it to go down here. Yeah, and then when it's time, you're going to reflect back and doing something sexual. You're saying something sexual, or you're saying that those guys are pussies, aren't they? Based on what you just said, like the context I get from you. Yep. Now I know how to reflect back in the way they're going to maximize my escalation further. The way I can actually go into the power of commitments, where I can actually admit something.
Let's skip forward to like 1:44:30.
Yep. 1:44.
Wait, hold on. Can we just really quickly do 1 minute? Or I mean 1 hour mark.
The 1 hour mark.
Fun exactly 1 hour. Yeah. Can we just? I just want to hear this part real quick.
Like right here. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
All about the context. So just
exactly.
I'm using how you go about it.
Yeah, I'm using the goals information 100%.
When I've had my fast escalations, they were much more fun. They're full of humor and laughter and joking around and teasing. I'm not going in there saying, I can tell that you want all this stuff in the bedroom. Marcus, here's what I think's happening.
This is the problem, though.
Marcus, here's what I think's happening. I think that a lot of these women are hooking up with you in spite of your game, not because of it.
Women are over 600.
Women,
incredibly.
It's so fucking interesting that he's completely like switching. Oh my god. Okay.
But why? How? So I was confused what he was trying to say. Is he saying that it's just because of my looks? I forget what he said.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's trying to figure out. He's like, it can't be your game. Maybe it's looks. Maybe it's. You ask him about this, and he struggles to give a reason. Right? He's just trying.
Okay. All right. Well, let's.
I like when grown men cope by calling me good looking. It's
yeah.
Women that are
you have not been with 600 women. You have not been with 600 women. All right.
Yes, you have. It's not even hard, bro. Like fucking in 2019.
I just say 600 is like
6 months or something.
Is it like an under guess, right? Like, because I actually we
you did wait. You got more.
Yeah, we counted 1 year. What was it like? It was over 120 or something in that 1 year we counted. And I've been gaming for like 10 years. So I mean, it's just. Yeah. I just say that because you know.
I mean, you've got 60 girls per year.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's like even like I mean, we have students who do way better than 60 girls per year. So the fact that he doesn't believe that 600, he thinks that 600 is like a super high number. That just screams to me like his inexperience. If someone told me like, oh, I have a I've been with 300 girls or 400. I'm like in my eyes, basically a virgin. But I have a skewed reality. I have a skewed reality. So, but I'm actually not joking when I say that. Like, I'm actually kind of thinking that without saying it. But that's kind of fucked up. But it's actually true. But yeah, that's interesting. But we did track actually in 2019. It's the only time I did it, and my SMV was much worse in 2019. You've seen the old videos. Guys comment on it every day, telling me how different I look. In that year, I slept with, correction, yeah, exactly, with 180 in about 6 months, and that was with like much worse SMV and much worse game. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like an extreme number, to be honest. Yeah. It's really not.
All right. Whoa, how do you know that? Whoa. If you can read minds like that,
okay, fair. That wasn't nice of me. Maybe you have. I bet you probably haven't, but that wasn't nice either. I'm gonna stop. Women are very. We can make a bet. Women are very forgiving, and women know what it's like to be into a dude despite his game, not because of it. They sit there and they roll their eyes. I'm like, oh my God, this guy.
Hang on. I'm going to take this as a massive compliment. Thank you. Do you think my looks getting me to sleep with all these girls?
I'm getting a boner.
Maybe it's his last
I love that guy.
Australian accent. Or the amount of Australian dollars he has. Oh my God, 1 million Australian dollars? You must be rich.
What is that word?
Listen, this has much more to do with a woman's will than your skill.
Hang on,
I don't care how skilled.
I'd love to know this. Okay, you're so delusional that you think that it's not my amazing installation. It's what? Why are women sleeping with me on the first night? I'm so curious.
You are dismissing your failures as anomalies, and you're only counting your wins.
Hang on.
Listen,
why are they sleeping with me if it's not for my game? Tell me.
Let me answer, and I'll answer your question. If you go out and focus on fast escalation, you can get better at it. You can get better at spotting women that are open to it. I'm not saying it's not an intermediate to advanced skill.
I've slept with a lot of virgins. I've slept with a lot of girls in Eastern Europe. It's not just some girl in America that's like slept with 500 guys and is down. But I'm curious, why do you think the girls are sleeping with me? They have to be attracted to me for something, right? These hot girls. What's the reason?
Just a combination of game and sloppy game and a little bit.
A combination.
But he said that your game had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
Okay, all right, okay.
I was trying to pay for some validation. To be honest, I just wanted to say I was good looking.
Yeah, I know.
I've been using a new face care routine and everything, but
yeah, I mean, he just doesn't have like very good reasoning behind any of his arguments.
No, at all.
Like they're just very like at best they're like random, like really bad assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, he's delusional. Yeah.
Guesses. Yeah.
Bit of forgiveness in there. If you're sexualizing,
so it's by bad game they're sleeping with me for.
You've already agreed with me at the beginning of this call. The majority of women.
You keep saying that. I'm agreeing with you. The fact that if you look up data, that women will say if they go on a date with someone like yourself, that 20% of the time they're accepted with having a one-night stand. Yes, I agree with that. But I think if they go on a date with someone where they don't feel slut-shamed, where they're allowed to open up and explore their fantasies, where they feel very comfortable and have a level of trust, then no, it's not strong. This is all true. Then they will want to have sex a lot more than 20% of the time.
When did I say that women are sluts for hooking up quickly?
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying women feel that way. If this is, you don't believe in this? If you go on a date with a girl, you don't do any of their judgment, and then you just tell her, like, I want to have sex with you right now, they will not say yes, even if they want to, even if they're horny, because they will worry about feeling like a slut. I mean, being sexually open-minded is definitely a good frame to have if you want a woman to feel sexually open-minded as well. That's a part of it for sure. Yes, but if you make her wait 10 hours, she's not going to feel that way.
Here's the thing. If you go out on a mission to try to escalate quickly, you can hone that skill. You can get better and better at it. It still doesn't mean it's the most effective.
What? I think
let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my sentence.
Go for it.
It still doesn't mean it's the most effective style of game to run the majority of the time. If you want to run your fast escalation game and you want to burn through a bunch of great opportunities,
I'm not burning through any opportunities.
You are burning through opportunities. By saying these sexual things to women,
he's making assumptions.
Saying these sexual things to women. It's that tone, bro. It's so funny. Yeah, it's literally like the nice guy that is trying to be nice to get women, right? Yeah. And then as soon as someone like makes a joke or pushes the girl away a little bit and isn't like, licking her asshole, the white knight comes in and he's like, how dare you say something to her like that? And then the girl goes home with him because he's not a fucking pussy and isn't trying to just be nice to manipulate her and get with her. It's funny hearing this like live from someone that is meant to be like teaching this, right? It's it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is
he's been teaching this for like 20 years, by the way.
I mean, if he's been doing this shit for 20 years, he fucking better have been with over 600 girls.
Well,
No.
clearly,
Like
not-
that's 30 girls a year.
No way.
Like
No.
I can do that without even having any dating app and without even fucking going outside my apartment.
What do you think his lay count is? I want everybody in the chat to like put a number in.
Dude,
What
I'm
do you think his
saying
lay count is?
it's less than 100.
Oh yeah, but easily.
I mean, I actually like I love to give people the benefit of the doubt, but it is really hard here. It's just really hard. Yeah.
No, I'm going with between 20 and 25.
No,
That's one per year.
I should have asked him actually. Yeah, I wonder if
That's fine. Yeah, but that would have been good actually. That would have been good for. I mean, to be fair, like I don't think lay count is the biggest indicator of skill, because you could fuck a lot of like really ugly girls, or as some other guys, like you could fuck trannies to add to your lay count. You could do that, but so it's not the best metric of skill. Like I don't think so. But
I can tell you, when I was between 20 to 30 lay count, there's zero chance that I would be coaching between 20 and 30. Like I would not even pretend to be experieused enough to help other guys. There's no chance. None.
No.
I was at 300 lay count. I'm like, fuck, I think I need to get up a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel you.
Very early on, I promise you, there are women that are going, Jesus Christ.
No.
Yeah.
It's not true. Listen, there might be girls that aren't going to jump on it. So we can use my example I used before. So maybe I say like, hey, listen, I can tell you like a very dominant masculine man. Okay. Now there is some situations where girls give pushback to this. They don't jump
and they
on
go, ew, what the hell did you just say? Ew. What was
no? Obviously.
What did you just say? That's what they're thinking.
About women. So no, the type of pushback you usually get from this, Eric, is going to be something along the lines of, no, that's not what I want. Like I want a guy that can listen, and I don't want to be like in the kitchen. They'll give some version of that. Like, no, I'm an independent girl, right? That's the pushback you get. Not this is weird and creepy. No, that's the type of pushback. And so then you just calibrate, and you have ways around this. So then you can say like, yes, obviously you're a very independent, strong woman, okay? But I think you need a very independent, strong man to match that energy, right? You don't want some guy asking you like, where should we go for dinner, and not knowing what he wants to do in life. Then she agrees, and now you can move forward. Just like with, you're going to get objections, concerns. This is the whole idea. You push forward, you get them, and then you deal with them. So you might want to take a girl home, and she says like, I'm on my period. Okay, that's not being weird and creepy. And the girl like going, no, you just say that's fine. I don't mind, right? I can put a red towel down. Everything's fine. We can have sex in the shower. Then you deal with that objection and you move forward. So yes,
we don't do that.
We like foolproof and step by step everything works perfect. A part of escalating well and moving things forward well is you're always like testing tension, and you are having to deal with certain things, or build more attraction, or make her a little bit more horny, or deal with the objections. Of course, I'm just going to sit here and wait for her to like make the move.
So building sexual tension.
Sorry, I feel like I'm on a coaching call.
Yeah, I mean, it actually does feel like a coaching call.
It's like a student that doesn't want to listen.
Yeah, I just think he's being very he's just being like immature in this debate. I think he's just being very immature, very very emotional. Yeah,
testing for tension. I agree with these things, right? But still, I think that where's the fun? Where's the laugh track? Michael has talked about how when a woman laughs and stuff.
Can I tell you what the fun is?
Yeah.
Okay. The fun is I like really kinky sex. Okay. I like to take control. I'm into shibari. I like to tie girls up. I like to there be like a really fun power dynamic. I like to be able to take a girl home after meeting on her the first night and have this incredible, amazing sexual experience where then we can lay each other next to each other, panting. She's come a bunch of times, and then we can talk and hang out, and then she desperately wants to see me again. That's the fun. Now, fun to you might be sitting there and making an innuendo or like a Uranus joke or something and like laughing about it. If that's fun for you, that's completely fine. And look, if you personally like to just take it really slow with girls, that's also fine. I think there's a few issues there. I think you might actually lose a few girls from doing that. If that's what you personally find fun and want to do, that's fine. But to just say fast escalation isn't fun. I think like majority of guys, you said, would you like to have sex with this girl?
You have optimized.
Hang on. Let me just tag Ross in here because he might have to go pretty soon. So let's have some.
He's very Ross.
Alex, let's move to
140 or something, right?
Yeah, 144.30.
144.30. Yeah, let's go.
The women told you, Marcus, that wow, you're a guy that gets me, and you're a guy that understands me like no one else. How many times have you heard that?
Move it forward
every single girl. Like, and I like that you said you know me better than my friends. That's something a lot of women say too. Like, it's like, damn, I haven't told anyone this. Like, no one. I thought this was like this taboo thing in my head. I've never told anyone that I want a guy to like speak down to me, for example. But I think like what I just realized is, and I think Giraffe mentioned this in the chat too, is I think we can all agree. We agree with calibrated escalation. You want to go as quick as you're able to go. So the question I asked Eric, and it sounds like he's nodding his head here, was if you could have sex within 3 hours, if you could have that magic wand, would you do it? He said yes. So the point here is you want to go as quick as you can go. Now, if it takes you 7 hours, you shouldn't go quicker than that. You shouldn't try to go go for sex before she's ready. But if it only takes you 3 hours, then you should do that. And I think the difference here is what makes the girl ready and open and able. Now, it's not about screening for the girl. It's not about just opening a bunch of girls and waiting for someone that's like, yeah, I have a 400 lay count and I'm down. It's if I meet a virgin that I'm really into, then it's about discovering exactly what's holding her back right now. And if it is that she's worried about sex is going to be painful, then I want to manage that. If I meet a girl and, for example, she's worried that guys won't see her again. So there's some girls that have been on like 3 dates that slept with the guy first night and then guys never fucking see them again. If that's what's happening, then I want to reassure her, like, hey, I like you, I enjoy the sex, of course I want to see you again, right? There's a lot of things that might come up you have to deal with, and I agree. We all agree with you on basically escalation that is calibrated. It's just the difference from my experience is when it comes to calibrating my game, I can have sex very quickly. When it comes to Eric calibrating his game, it sounds like the average is 7 hours. I think that's the difference there is the mechanism that's causing the girl to be a little bit more open, more open.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to clarify, like before I was making a lot of remarks about like takes an hour or whatever. But it doesn't mean you should rush anything, right? The reason why it happens for me within an hour, because I'm good at this. Like, I know how to make it happen with girls that it would probably take other guys like much longer fucking time with. But that's something that, you know, has also obviously like gotten better over time. But the only right answer to this is really when she's ready. And she's going to be ready as soon as you make her feel ready.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So let me clarify something. I do believe if you're going for fast escalation, at least try to be calibrated about it. I think we all agree that we don't want friction. The best way to get over an objection is to not get the objection in the first place, right? And that's from being calibrated. We don't want to do a bunch of objection handling, okay? But I don't agree that we should be moving to sex as quickly as possible. There's this fallacy in the community that you don't really know a woman until you've had sex with her, or once you have sex with her, you take away her most powerful bargaining chip or whatever. Look, women walk away from marriages where they have children and they've had sex hundreds and thousands of times, okay? We're not putting them under a spell with our wand. And I'm not talking about a proverbial wand here, okay?
Well, I don't know about that. Like, I would argue that you definitely can.
Yeah, and I think what he's missing here is those relationships that are ending, they're not having sex, right? They're not having incredible sex that they both feel super satisfied with, and it's amazing. No, like there's usually sexless marriage that people are walking away from.
Exactly.
And it's also it's usually the women not having good sex. Like the men are usually like, this guy's okay with vanilla sex, right? Yeah. But I don't think his exes were okay with the vanilla sex that he was giving them. So
that's a good fucking point. What he likes and what the girl likes might be completely different. And he
also explains in this, I don't know if you remember this, Mark, he doesn't do anything exciting. He doesn't give the girls orgasms the first few meets. So he wants to have vanilla sex the first night, right? Yep. Vanilla sex.
Sounds like much fun, does it?
Yeah. Well, in that case, I think I can kind of understand like the perspective that he's coming from, because sex doesn't make his interaction more solid in that case. Yes. So then like his experience is probably that if I spend more time with the girl first, she will feel more attached to me because she has like invested more in that way, and I can't get that emotional investment from sex because I'm not giving her the sex that she wants.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably like where that's coming from. If he said that in the debate or something, I don't know.
Yeah, we hear about his sex life in a second. So Morris also said this dude self-reported so hard the whole stream. Yeah, so true.
Right. Yeah. Well, in that case, I can understand like his why he would think this way. I'm not saying that is true, but I can put myself in his shoes, you know.
So this idea that we should go to sex as quickly as possible, I don't agree with. I like to think of escalation as a window. As soon as that window cracks open, I'm not diving through it right away. I'm waiting until that window opens all the way. I'm maybe even letting it hover open.
Hold on. No.
That's so retarded.
No, he's contradicting because he also talked about baby stepping.
And he also, by the way, before in this, I know we skipped it, but I said, if you had a magic wand that you could wave and you could have sex with every single girl within 3 hours, would you do it? And then he said yes. And then now he's backtracking because I think he realized, you know, because really that's where he's at. If he could, right, he'd love to do it. He just thinks it's impossible because he has no idea what he's doing. But he's backtracking on that big time. But we'll hear why, and then we'll go into that.
Okay, yeah. It's hardcore, like contradicting.
And I think we're gonna one more thing as well. Yeah. Like, what do you think about this escalation window opening? Like, it's opening and then it gets to a certain point and it closes again. Like, what do you think about that? Because I think if you actually build so much attraction, you get her fucking horny. She views you in a particular way. She's always going to have that open window.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
It could be 2 months into a relationship. It could be 2 years into a relationship. That window is open. It's open unless you do something to actually lose attraction, right?
Yeah. Of course, I fully agree. It's not like the supermarket where she has like opening hours and shit. It's like,
supermarket,
you know what I mean? It's like the fridge. It's like always there. You can just open it.
Through the window. You can, Marcus, just let me clarify, Marcus. I do believe that you have probably highly refined a style of game where you can get that window to open quick, you can pass through it smoothly, and you don't get a lot of friction. And I believe that you're getting results from it.
But he said before.
I'm winning him over. All right, listen, he's starting to. This we're seeing in real time. He's starting to understand. Oh fuck, maybe the last 10 years of my life have been a waste, and I've been doing it all wrong. But it happens slowly.
Okay. Well, that's good. Like, if he actually comes to a conclusion and he can be like, "Hey, look, Mark, like you have a point."
Yeah, hopes up too high, but this is a start.
I mean, I was just gonna say, I would be impressed and I would be proud, but
no, but listen, he's real quick. He's been attacking my game for the past 4, 5, 6 years, so he hasn't come around.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, during this debate, I messaged Swift and I was like, "Bro, I feel bad," and then he goes. He's like, don't feel bad. He's been talking shit. So I was like,
no, bro. He used to send me fucking like angry, emotional voice messages and shit. Like, it's just ridiculous. But it's funny. We had this debate. I was really excited. So
it's just very feminine behavior, I think.
The majority of women have such a fast open on their window.
Yeah,
I'll quickly say.
But he said before that the majority of the women don't. Maybe I misunderstood something, but
I'll just quickly say, when it comes to using your magic wand, you can hypnotize her. That's the good word to use. Anyway, continue.
Nice.
I mean, there's a lot of advantages for having sex. I think we can't ignore these. And
yes, it is. It's compelling.
To kind of insinuate that yes, sure, the very extreme version of this is like you will never understand a woman at all until you have sex with her. But there is a level of truth to that, right? Sexual compatibility is incredibly important in dynamics between men and women. And I think that is something that's important to test. Like the whole idea of waiting to marry to have sex, like as a religious ideology, I think is really bad for a relationship because yes, you are missing out on oxytocin when you have sex. You are missing out on the girl feeling vulnerable and sharing that with you. I always tell guys is, you want to build a connection with a girl. You want to be emotional with a girl. The time that the girl is the most emotional with you and is the most vulnerable with you is when she's taking off her clothes and having sex with you and being put in a position like that. And then afterwards, they're laying down with you after you've experienced this roller coaster together. She's had incredible pleasure, and now you're chatting. That is what I want to get to as soon as possible. Now, if you're having like really shitty sex or something, then probably not. But if you're doing this in an optimal way, yes, it's going to create a lot of good dynamics between you and the girl.
Sex is a peak experience, and it is definitely a highly compelling. You know, when you can hook up with a woman, especially if you can hook up with her quickly and it's all calibrated and everything, that can be compelling. But it's not the end all be all. It's the lead up to the sex, right?
Well, you never said that was the end all be all either.
No,
you literally never said that. If anything, you said that sex is a great vehicle to create a stronger connection.
Yeah, I mean, this whole debate, honestly, like. He kept accusing me of like strawmanning and shit. This whole debate, he just relied on cement. Like that from the very beginning where I said, yeah, I agree with you. Like most women in the population are worried about being slut shamed. And he goes, see, I'm right. You agree with me. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't prove your point. It actually works against you. And so many times during the debate, shit like this would happen where he'd, he knows he can't win on the fucking facts. So he just tries to manipulate some things and contradict himself.
Yeah.
The good part is coming up, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's about to be good. All right, I'm here.
It's the lead up to the sex. Here's another one for you, Marcus, that you probably disagree with. When you have sex with a woman the first time, this is not the time to give her 5 or 6 orgasms. Like you said in a previous call.
Why not?
He's so triggered by this.
Why not?
Well, let's find out. Yeah, it's a good question.
That you'll say to a girl, I'll bet these guys can't even give you 1 orgasm, let alone 5 or 6. I'm not trying to give the girl 5 or 6 orgasms on the first time having sex.
Why not?
Because I'm more interested in calibrating to her mood and her emotion.
I think her mood and emotion is gonna want that.
Has a girl ever said, listen, you got to calibrate to my mood and emotions? I don't want 6 to 7 orgasms.
I mean, I've had girls where they've had like 10 orgasms, like, yo, I can't take anymore. But that's different.
This is something that
if the woman is open to really dominant kinky sex, or if she really wants to get down to business right on night one and she wants it to be that style of sex, great. But I'm more interested in making it, I'm interested in the totality of the experience. So usually we get to rougher, more.
When I heard him say that, I knew in that moment this guy's never had rough dominant sex in his entire life. By the way, which is okay. Like, that's fine. If you want to have vanilla sex, have vanilla sex. You just need to realize that a lot of girls probably aren't going to enjoy that. You just find a girl that's into that as well. And you don't like teach that as like the optimal thing, right? It's completely fine. But the minute he said that, the way he worded that, I'm like, damn, I knew from that moment, I'm like, this guy just doesn't. He has no idea what he's talking about in this domain.
Yeah, it's a giveaway. And I mean, as you said, like, I would say that a strong, like, 95% like that.
Yeah,
and they want it like not on the second date or no, they want it like immediately.
Or dominant sex, after a few rounds. The first round, I'm making it more calibrated to what she wants.
Okay,
but that's assuming that that's not what she wants.
Yeah.
See, this is very dangerous to make assumptions. This is why it's so important, as you said before in the interaction, that you actually sit down and you find this out, like you get information. So if you make these assumptions, man, like your whatever relationships you have, like friendships, rotation, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's also it's dangerous if you're not experienced or skilled enough.
Yeah,
to know very basic things about women's sexuality.
Yeah,
and you not become a coach. I think path.
Yes.
But the good part is coming up though. So
maybe he could like run a campaign for Kamala Harris or something, like white dudes for Kamala.
I guarantee he's in that group. I guarantee it. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, but what would you say calibrated to what she wants? How do you know what she wants?
I mean, so first of all, I can usually just sense it based on experience, right? So I can sense I can sense sort of where she wants things to be. And then I can also ask, obviously, I ask for consent. I'm not going to just start rough.
Okay, how do you ask for consent?
Okay, can I go harder?
Oh God.
Jesus.
This can't be real.
This is 20 years of seduction, like, coaching.
This can't be real. I have a girl coming by here soon. I'm gonna ask her opinion. Like, what would you do if I asked you, can I go harder? And I can guess that her response would be like I would like walk out. We'll see if she comes by while the stream is still on.
What's funny though? Like when I explain consenting to guys in our sex coaching, I use this example as like a joke. I'm like, look, you don't want to be in bed sitting there being like, hey baby, is it okay if I go a little bit harder? Like I say that as the joke, because like no one would ever do this, right? But obviously like you want to find a way to be able to find out what she likes. And when I heard him say that, I was like, your reaction, like you can't be serious.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling was that like it felt like he almost like caught himself like when he said that. Like, fuck, I should have said that.
To be fair, I don't think he ever asked this. I think he just has vanilla sex. But like, I don't think he ever asked this. And then he's trying to come up with like what he might do now to know. And it just sounds.
I actually asked my girl about this when I was watching this, and she's like, "No, don't say that." I'm like, "What do I do? Do I just without consent I go harder?" And she's like, "Yeah, like if it's too hard, I'll just say not so hard. It hurts. Like you just lose the traction. You kill the mood."
Yeah, it's very uncalibrated.
Okay, so you're having sex with a girl, and then you
and I'll say, "Can I go harder?"
I'm trying to understand this. So I'm just picturing myself. So like I'm having sex with this girl, I'm on top, and then I look at her and say, "Hey, can I go harder?"
If I can't sense that she wants me to go harder, if I'm not 100% sure that she wants me to go harder, I will ask for consent to go harder. I'll say, "Can I go harder?"
Okay, if I'm a girl, and I've got like feedback of girls on this, right? If I'm a girl, there's quite a lot that do like the idea of dominance, that do like the idea of masculinity. I agree. There's some that prefer it like sensual and slow, and that's an important conversation to have too. And maybe they want like more of a tantric feel, where it is like some more eye contact and it's like sensual, romantic. That's cool. But majority of girls are going to want it a little bit more dominant. And the problem with this idea is, I'm just going to start having sex and I can kind of just sense it. You can't sense if a girl wants to be choked 100% of the time, and you don't want to do that without knowing.
If you play a solid game,
no. Listen,
no. He said if you have a solid game, but look, you can get to a point where you can make a good guess. You can get to a point where you can make like good guesses most of the time, but never assume. Like you can't assume these things. You really cannot.
And I think Mark makes a point is you kind of can assume a little bit that she likes it a little bit harder, because most girls like to be submissive, but you can't assume very specific fetishes.
Exactly,
right?
yes.
How the fuck, like, how do you know that she has a foot fetish unless she keeps looking at your feet or something? And she's like, what kind of socks are you wearing? You know, then okay, you know, if you're very observant, you can be like, I think she's on her feet a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's no chance this guy. We know how hard it is to like identify these things, right?
Yeah.
And with our students are very good. There's no chance he's capping right now. 100%.
100%.
Yeah. Well, this is a theme throughout the entire thing, because he's also making a lot of assumptions about you, Mark. He's not actually like asking. It's just a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
It's not good.
If you play solid game, you can get a sense for what she's into, and if you can't, then you just ask.
You can get a sense, but not 100% sense. You don't want to be, I'm 90% sure this girl wants me to slap her across the face, so I'm going to do it. You don't want to be like, I'm 95% sure this girl wants me to choke her, so I'm going to do it.
Of course,
number one,
agreed.
it's really, so you have to ask. You have to get into this. Now, if you're having sex with a girl and then starting to ask these questions, it's going to take away from the experience, because now she's thinking, this guy doesn't know what I want, he has to ask, especially that way. And you kind of like,
if I say to her, can I go harder, baby?
Yes, exactly.
I've never had a girl say that she didn't like it.
They're not going to tell you, right? But there's ways you can go about this, which you can use dirty talk, right? If you are in the moment and this is what you're relying on, there's probably like slightly better ways to do this. So you could look her and start dirty talking, right? Hey, you fucking love that, don't you? Oh my God, I can sit on your fucking face. She's like, yes. All right. Then you can whisper in her ear, listen, you're going to do exactly as I say. Do you understand? She says, yes. Tell me exactly what you want right now. You're allowed 2 words, harder or slower. All right. Like there's ways you could probably manage that, but it's much easier to just have that conversation beforehand.
That's really good.
Session. Like at this point, Mark is like, my natural coaching instincts is like popping. Like I'm doing the Marcus Monday in the Mastermind.
It did. I felt like it. Yeah. It felt like I was dealing with a student.
This commentary, Mark, if your level of game was money, you would be a billionaire. So your reality is so different from the average guy. So some guys have a hard time to relate. Well, exactly. Like, that's what we said in the stream. Like, don't be average guy. Yeah.
But I mean, like, look, I also know where I came from, right? Like, if you saw photos of me when I was like 18 and shit, like I've been where Eric has been. Okay, like I've been the guy that was at the club and was the nice guy, you know, white knight shit, where I saw someone like push a girl away or make a joke about them, and I was like, hey, don't be mean. Like, why would you ever do that? And like, I went through all this shit. I went through the times where I was like, hey, did you want to come home with me? And the girl's like, yeah, I don't know if I should. And I was like, oh, okay, no, don't worry. If you don't want to, it's completely fine. Like I've been through all that shit. But the point is, I learned and I moved on, and I realized that even at this point, even right now, I know it's not perfect, right? I know there's still things that I can learn and develop and practice. But when you're just stuck in your ways and you didn't actually learn it for yourself, you just learned off someone else and you just relied on that and took it as gospel, then yeah, I mean, you're just stuck in the fucking first phase of game, which is like this nice guy shit. Yeah, it's been unfortunate, but
yeah.
And instead of saying like, I will take it slow at the beginning and then wait a few times until I figure out what she wants, it's better than I agree just going for it without asking. But the optimal way, again, going back to what's optimal, is having that conversation, because I guarantee you most girls, when I speak to them, they say this. They're like, when I'm with most guys, I feel like they're just a little bit too soft and they don't go for it. They don't know what they want. They always have to like ask during sex. So yeah, I think like having that conversation before in a very like calibrated authority type of way is going to be more better.
I'm not saying that I've never had sexual conversations with women before sex, but generally speaking, when I'm running my game, especially if the woman is, you know, on my level, there's no need to talk about sex. We know it's going to be good when we get there. We can tell by the way that we're bouncing energy off of one another. There's no need to.
No. Maybe he can tell. Maybe he can tell from his perspective, because for men, it's mostly about what does this girl look like. It's like very visual, but for women, it's not the same. So, I mean, he's probably projecting there as well, as he seems to be doing all the time. Like, you can't assume that just because you think it's going to be good that she has come to this conclusion herself yet.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about her fetishes. All I have to do is calibrate to the moment, and then when we hook up, you know, it all comes out there. And if I'm ever unsure, I can ask in the moment, can I go harder, baby? She says yes. And then I'll say, tell me if I go too hard. And they do like it. You know, I would say, again, I don't like generalizing, but I would say the majority of women do like it when it's rough and dominant and so forth. So, you know, my goal is to kind of always push things to her comfort threshold and simultaneously my desires. But I never, especially with physical escalation, her comfort threshold is more important than my desires.
Yeah, so I'm not saying the sex is bad. I'm not saying like these girls are leaving and being like, oh my God, what sex? But I'm saying like, if you want a girl to be like, that was the greatest sex of my life, like I'm curious, because I've never had this. I've never been able to like 100% accurately like pick up a fetish. Like I'm curious, like what type of like kink have you picked up from a girl without talking about it and just love vibes? Like I can say like there's some girls that seem really bratty. I'm like, oh, they probably like me talking down to them, but like with 100% accuracy, like I don't think I could ever say that. Like
yeah, like you would test for it.
Yeah.
he's just sitting there being like, I know exactly what the girl likes without asking, but then when I'm in bed, I have to say, "Do you want it harder, baby?" Like, it just makes no sense.
No, I mean, that's very like, arrogant.
He has to ask about the thing that you probably don't even need to ever ask about, which is like just being a little bit more dominant, sort of. Like, why would you ask that? But yet suddenly he knows if this girl wants to be choke slapped, tied up, if she's got a foot fetish, if she wants to be degraded. Like, he knows all of this, but he has to ask, "Do you want to go?" Like, it is obviously he just has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how could you cold read those very specific things?
Yeah.
But not if she wants it harder.
Yeah.
That makes no fucking sense.
I'm curious, like, what you're looking for, what you pick up on, where you can just like feel out a kink.
No, so I mean, I'm not going for anything super bold without permission, right? We're having a lot of fun. It moves to the bedroom eventually, and usually I'm just having kind of a standard incremental style of sex with her, where it's kissing, it's foreplay, it's touching. I'm slowing things down. There's oral sex maybe, right? And then when we get to penetration, it's all calibration. And when you draw it out a bit, you can sense where her comfort level.
Sorry for pausing it. But when I hear statements like that, like, can you describe the really kinky, advanced, optimal sex you're having that's leaving the girl wanting more and thinking it's the best thing ever? Well, yeah, sometimes I like kiss and I escalate and I'll slow down. And sometimes there's oral sex. And then other times there's penetration. And it's like, Jesus, it feels like I'm talking to like a priest describing sex. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the irony here is that he's talking a lot about how, you know, his approach to sexualizing is by channeling his sexual energy. My impression of him, without knowing him, I know nothing about this dude really, but just like from what I've seen, I feel like he is very out of touch with his sexual energy. It's just very ironic.
Mm-hmm. And if I want to start going harder, or if I get the sense that she wants me to go harder, I'll simply say, "Can I go harder, baby?" Right? And then I'll say,
I think there's a difference
and then most of the time she'll say yes, and then I'll say, "Tell me if I go too hard." Or if I want to get even kinkier than that on night one, I may ask her, you know, "Can I do this? Can I do this?" Right? Things that I would blush to say on camera. I'm trying not to make my mother blush.
My mother. Oh my God. Bro, guys. Do you know how many women in Alex America? I'm sure you've gotten this feedback. Like when you like fuck a girl, you talk about like all the other guys they've dated in the past and everything. They absolutely roast dudes like this, and everything he's saying is what I've heard from women. Like the whole, are you comfortable? Can I put do you need a pillow? Like, as you know, this girl's getting fucked. Do you need a pillow? Is your head okay? Your neck is all good? Yeah. This is incredibly unattractive, but these girls aren't going to tell you this. Right? They'll be like, yeah, it was good, it was fine. And you won't get a text back. It's that simple.
Yep.
And then you'll make an excuse about how your energies are not there or some bullshit, right?
Yeah. Something very vague.
And I mean, I went through a phase where all I did was ask for feedback after sex. And I do it in a way where I guarantee I got it, because I would like insult or offend the girl first. So I knew she was going to be nice, right? And then I was like, I would say like, "Hey, you didn't do this right. I didn't like this, blah, blah. Hey, you got any feedback for me?" And she's like, "Well, fuck you then." And even at the beginning where I was implementing all the things and I thought I was good and like I was getting good reactions and girls want to see me, even then when I went through this phase of getting feedback, you heard things like this. Like, you could actually be a little bit harder. I prefer if you do that. And clearly this guy's never asked. And it's funny because before, as Swift said, I think I realized why this guy came into this already a bit like pissed off at me, maybe, because he said in that other stream you spoke about, and I probably like bagged on guys that was like, "Oh, you're only giving one orgasm. You don't know what you're doing in bed. You never ask," like blah, blah. And he was probably like self-identifying, like, fuck, he's talking about me. So yeah, listen, don't be this guy.
Yeah.
It must be fucking frustrating, right? Like, every guy knows women love orgasms and they love even more orgasms that you could give them, right?
Yeah.
If you're like 40 something years old, I mean, and you can't get more than one orgasm, that is like, I would be on suicide watch at this point.
I mean, especially after 20 years as a coach.
As a coach, this is all you do.
Yes, this is the one thing you're supposed to know.
This is all you do.
Yeah. Sometimes I think Mark should stop going to this kind of podcast because the other speakers are too egoistic to listen to him once he starts questioning their belief system.
Nah, don't tell him. I love watching Mark on these.
Yeah,
fucking podcasts.
yeah, he's right, but keep going to them.
Yeah, man. I'm not expecting these.
Keep triggering them.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anyone to like change their mind, right?
Yeah,
they're stuck. I mean, if they haven't changed it now.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep listening. This is
But
he's gonna get triggered in this in a moment, I think.
We need a Mark and Destiny debate. That I want to see. I want to do that breakdown.
Blush, right? I have a brand of coaching that I want my mother to approve of. That I want my daughter to approve of if I have a daughter someday. So I don't want to get into the specifics of what I'll actually say, but I do ask for permission. And again, typically on night one, I'm much more interested in the totality of the sexual experience, not in showing her my tongue twister.
Sorry,
tongue twister.
I need to hear this again. I need to hear this part again, so I don't misspeak.
That I want my mother to approve of. Remember, I'm trying not to make my mother blush, right? I have a brand of coaching that I want my mother to approve of.
Well, see, that's not good. That's not good because that's assuming that his mother is like the target audience for his clients, right? His clients are probably not trying to fuck his mom. Maybe they are, I don't know, but probably they're not going to. So to tailor your approach to what your mother like versus what your client's dream girl would.
By the way, I wouldn't want my mom to like watch all my content and shit. But if she did, she would be like, yeah, all right, yeah.
I rate good. Yeah. I mean, my parents are watching every stream and every video that I make.
Love it.
Yeah,
they must be proud.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, listen, like it's such a weird thing to say. Like, listen, if you are gonna have sex with your girl, and you're like really horny, and your girl's really horny, and you're sitting there in the living room, and your mom's in the living room. You're not gonna have sex in front of her. You're gonna be like, "Hey, excuse me, this is private. We should go in the bedroom and go do this." Right? Like, it's just such a weird thing. I don't get it.
Anyway. Yeah, this is really weird. But maybe he's worried because his mother can hear him like from like down the basement right now when he's on the podcast. Maybe that's what.
That I want my daughter to approve of if I have a daughter someday. So I don't want to get into the specifics of what I'll actually say, but I do ask for permission. And again, typically on night one, I'm much more interested in the totality of the sexual experience, not in showing her my tongue twister, spinning back kick, whatever. It's not.
But it wasn't about that. It was just like, being a little bit more rough or something.
By the way, I'm sorry, Mark is the sex coach here. Can you explain that technique he was talking about?
Oh, yes. It's the spinning back kick licking routine. So, yeah, like when the girl wants a little bit more dominance, you look her in the eyes and you say, "Hey, baby, can I go a bit harder?" And she says yes, and then you kick her in the face.
What is it? Some girl fucking like that.
You probably get better reactions. Yeah.
By the way, that technique is in the Mastermind. If you want to,
it's technique number 3.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not the time to bust out all the moves. Have porno like sex with her on the 3rd time or 4th time, not on night 1.
Okay, it's very clear. Like, and there's nothing wrong with this. Okay, but it's very clear. Like, it sounds like just pretty vanilla standard sex, which is fine, right? If that's what you're into, and that's like you're just like, hey, this is
straw man argument.
Okay, excuse me. Well,
how is that a straw man?
Whenever he doesn't know what to say, he just says straw man. I don't even know if he knows what it means. He just like every time that I just prove a point, he'll just be like straw man.
Yeah,
I agree that sounds.
I do.
Like
I think that you're saying that I'm saying I'm into vanilla sex. And I never said that. That you're building arguments out of straw and then attacking those arguments, and you've done it multiple times.
To me, this sounds like very vanilla. Okay, the idea that you can be a little bit more harder with her, like maybe you like I don't know, fuck her a little bit harder. To me, that's not like kinky or anything or meeting her fantasy. Like most girls aren't just like, oh, when I'm like getting penetrated with a guy, I just wanted to like do it a little bit harder. Usually when I'm talking about like kinks and like fantasies and stuff here, it might be the goal like to be extreme examples, like I want to be peed on, or like I really like feet, or like
Marcus, that's not extreme.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, there you go. But what you'll find with like most girls is like, I want to be tied up, I want to be handcuffed, I want a guy that chokes me, I want to be slapped, I want to be hit, I want to be told like I'm a dirty whore.
Yeah,
like, it's these things. And
most chicks don't want to be handcuffed on night 1, man. Within a couple hours. Most chicks do not. And pardon me for using the term. Wrong. Listen, most women on night 1, within a few hours of meeting a guy, are not down to be handcuffed. I'm sorry, brother.
Okay.
Well, that's just not fucking true. Well, actually, hold on. let me fucking correct myself, because they will not be okay with certain guys doing that. So if they don't see you as dominant and experienced, from her perspective, she's putting herself in a much more, let's say, vulnerable and potentially dangerous situation, because you have no fucking idea what you're doing. And if he's sub-communicating that, which very likely, like, because he's sounding very inexperienced when talking to us. If he's sounding inexperienced talking to us, he probably sounds inexperienced talking to y'all as well. So that's probably his experience. Our experience and our students' experience will be completely different.
In your experience, and that's fine. But you got to remember, your experience is filtered through the lens of never asking the girl, right? You're vibing with her, so you're never.
Again, this is a straw man. This is a straw man. Again, I never said
straw man. You literally
never said that I never ask. I said I usually don't.
Sorry.
I usually
what
focus on having fun.
What percentage of the
flirting.
time are you asking, Mr. Strawman?
Sex
What
is
percentage of the time are you
implied.
asking? What percentage of the time are you asking?
So I would say this. Probably 33. No, let me finish. Let me say my complete answer, okay? 33% of the time, I'm going to kind of be a little bit more overtly sexual. The majority of the time, though, sex is implied. We're having fun, man.
What is the percentage of the time
we're laughing, we're vibing. We know that sex is in the future at a certain point.
I'm going to ask the same question after you keep babbling on. What percentage of the time are you asking?
Am I asking what her kinks are before we have sex?
Yes.
Small percentage of the time, man.
Okay, so when I say you're not asking and you're vibing, it's not a straw man, correct?
When what?
So when I say you're not explicitly asking the girl and you're more vibing with her, that's not a straw man, right?
Fair enough. The majority of the time, I'm not asking her explicitly what her kinks are before having sex. I'm going to have sex with her a few times. Then I'm going to find out what her kinks are.
Perfect, right? So it's not a straw man when I said you typically vibe with the girl and you're not asking her. So if you're not asking her, you're not going to get girls saying, like, when you're vibing, they're not going to suddenly be like, hey, can you please tie me up? Right? And you're not going to get that vibe off her at all. It has to. The only way this happens is that if you have this conversation with her and you lead it this way and you find out what she likes. Because this is why it works so well. She will say, no one has ever asked me this. I've never been able to tell anyone this, right? Ever. Even my best friend, I haven't told this, because there's usually taboo around it. So yeah, I think like if you're just vibing, then no, that's going to be your experience. I'm not like disagreeing with you. Your experience is that these guys don't ask.
Amateur hour, brother. Amateur hour. Here's the real test.
It's just crazy. Like the level of delusion is really fucking mind-blowing. I mean, this is actually validating for me, because now, like, people will say that I'm arrogant or something, but it's just confirming that I'm definitely not a narcissist.
The real test. Let's show this interview to a group of women and ask which guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it. Because here's the debate.
Let's
remember, Marcus,
let's ask who they think knows more about the
Marcus, let's remember what the debate is about. Is the majority of the time the more effective style of game fast escalation or solid? It's solid game. Solid game trumps fast escalation.
You're using semantics here. Okay, listen. Every single time, calibrated game is the best option. Okay, every single time. Now, if you're someone that doesn't build sexual authority, if you're someone that like giggles and laughs and you don't build any attraction and you take it really slow, then yeah, calibrated game when you should like start escalating there is probably going to be really, really slow. It's probably going to take a lot longer. Now, if you as someone like a celebrity, or you've got that magic one waved over you, or you build a lot of attraction, or you have good sexual authority game, then yes, calibrated game is going to be a lot earlier. These girls are going to be way more into you and way more excited to have sex with you a lot earlier. So calibrated game there is going to be earlier. So my argument here isn't about like when you should escalate. It's going to be about how to get to the point where she's ready for you to escalate. That's why I don't use like the word escalate. So yes, you should build a lot of attraction. You should build a lot of sexual authority, and then you should take it home and have.
So here's the thing. Remember this. The average time is between 4 and 10 hours
for you.
With fair. But so what I'm saying is, even when there is a time where I'm escalating quickly, it's usually more in the realm of 3 or 4 hours. I meet her at a friend's barbecue. We mingle for a few hours. We socialize with other people. We leave each other. We come back. Then at the very end of the night, as the party's winding down and I have some alone time with her, maybe we hook up. That's 4 hours or 5 hours spread out over 1 day period. If we go home from a bar, I'm going to interact with her and her friends for a couple hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, come to the after party. By the time we actually hook up, it's again 4 hours. It's not 2 hours. It's not 1 hour. The 1 to 2 hour pull is the fantasy. It's the fantasy, and it's not the norm.
Can I ask you a question? If I was able to prove to you, right? I let's say for example, I could get 500 girls on the phone, okay, and you could interview them, and they all said like, "Yep, I slept with Marcus within 4 hours, and I had a really good time, and I wanted to see him again." Would that change your mind at all?
No, because that's not a random sampling. That's the 500.
Nothing would change his mind.
Okay.
Nothing. All right, is there anything else you want to see?
Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Plays escalate as tries all game. Okay, the 500 girls on the phone thing was interesting. Mr. Silk makes some great points. He agrees with you, but we don't have to watch that.
Yeah.
Let's see. You ask him if he'd change it if he could. You guys go back and forth. More LMR with his game. So yeah, there's like little tidbits here and there. So whatever you want.
Maybe we just go to 225, 25. Just listen to
why do you talk to these people?
True.
No, bro. Where should I go?
There's common sense there, but 222, 2, 25, 25.
2, 25, 25. Cold feet. Okay.
And making
I
sure that
thought
she's
that was
really
the
ready
answer more.
for sex to take place.
Yeah, so I think with
Defensive body language. It's like this.
Because you know you lost. So.
the method that Eric is talking about, you're probably going to face more last minute resistance. This is why I know mystery method had a lot of freeze outs or move forward and move back or all this other random stuff. I don't know. But yeah, like typically, if you're just like not very upfront with the goal you want, you're disqualifying a little bit, you're just vibing it out, you get it back to your place, you're like going for the make out here. Yeah, there's potential like concerns and objections you haven't really faced, right? So as I said, like it might be something as simple as like I haven't shaved, or I'm on my period, or it could be something more emotional, like I don't want to seem like a slut. But yeah, these are going to come out. And so the way you avoid that is have that conversation early. The more you can actually have these sexualized conversations and see the pull early, it's going to come out because she knows why she's coming back now. It's not a disqualification of like, let's meet my pet rock or some shit. It's the girl knows why she's coming back. So at the club, she can bring up it's not last minute resistance, it's at the club resistance, we can call it. And then she can tell you like, hey, listen, I feel uncomfortable about XYZ, or this is my concern. And then you work on it together. So if it is something like random, like I haven't shaved, it's like, cool, I got a razor in my place. If it's something random, like as I said before, like I'm worried if we have sex, you'll never see me again. You might want to reassure of that. And then so then by the time you do get back, you have full consent. I hate the word consent, but you can make it sexy, right? You have full understanding of what the girl wants, what the concerns are, they're being dealt with. And so you're actually, this is taken from like BDSM principles, you're removing any form of remorse, right? Any form of last minute resistance. So yeah, that would be the way you go about it.
Sounds like a one-note song. Sounds like a one-note song, Marcus. I'm sorry.
What did he say?
This is funny. This is good. One note song, I think.
One note song, yeah. First it was Straw Man, then it was this doesn't sound fun to me, and now the one note song. All right, maybe just go right to the end. I might just do like a closing statement.
No, I think the closing is nothing. It's
okay.
You're exhausted from like discussing other shit.
Yeah, let's just.
I think like people are saying. Like, why are you talking to this guy? If you actually listen, because I watched this 2 times, Mark actually gives a lot of great examples, right? He's not going to listen, but you guys are going to listen, right? He gives a lot of great examples and some routines here and there. So Mark does give a lot of value in this live stream. So if you want to watch that and kind of skip over, that guy.
Mark's frame control is crazy good. He is calm, non-emotional, but still being dominant. Do you have a fangirl here, Veronica Strickler?
Yeah, Veronica, she's a good friend of the UMP.
She's great. She's amazing.
Welcome back. It's been a
One
while.
of the best women ever.
Yeah. Michelle, is Michelle here? Listen, we got some.
That's Eric's ex-wife or girlfriend.
Yeah, probably. Where should I jump?
That's good. I think we're good. You can jump with this.
We're done?
Yeah, we're done, bro.
Cool.
Yeah. If anyone wants to check that out, it's up on Game Global's channel. I think there's like small clips and stuff he's done for it too. If you guys want to see more, right? I know someone mentioned here, like, hey, these like Q&As and stuff will be valuable. We have a mastermind, so you can jump in the mastermind. It's fucking free to sign up. It's super cheap once you're in there. And we just moved to a new platform too. So there's literally hours and hours and hours of fucking content on everything. But yeah, we help you and walk you and guide you through that. There's 3 calls every single week that we do, and then we're active in the forums every single day. So yeah, you can. How much is the mastermind? It's $69 per month.
69.
Yeah, jump in. It's 2 weeks free, so you can just jump in, and then what will happen is you're like, hey, I'll just test out 2 weeks. After 2 days, you'll be like, why the fuck is this so cheap? Can I please pay you guys more? And I'm like, yeah, sure, you can pay me as much.
What happens sometimes is guys will write a testimonial before the free trial is up.
Yeah, true. But yeah, you can jump in, check it out. It's free. If you actually don't like it, then leave. It's all good.
Yo, guys, we can put together some money from like the new mastermind signups, and we can buy Eric like a rape whistle or something, or we can buy him like handcuffs, or I don't know. He likes like fucking dental dams or something. We'll fucking put it together.
We'll get him a subscription to the what was it, the 360 kick twister or something. We can teach him
the 360.
All right, boys. Well, we can answer a few questions, right? What's the time?
Yeah. I have let's do about maybe 20 minutes more. Something.
Yeah, let's do 20 minutes. All right, boys. If you got any questions, if you got questions about fast escalation versus solid game, let us know. Otherwise, anything at all.
Well, actually, this is an interesting topic. Mark, what has been your fastest escalation? Do you have like a story?
Good point. By the way, don't ask Alex about his teddy in the background, okay?
He knows everything about fast escalation, this guy.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I saw their story the other night with a girl on him. Okay. Dude, I've had there's been a lot. Okay, I'll give you some random ones. There's obviously been a lot of like group sex fast escalation. Because you're already with a girl, you're at a party, and like some girl will get pulled in, you don't fucking know her, and then like she's in there. So there's probably like the fastest escalation possible. But then there's been I've had girls at the club, like in the toilet line. I've had I've had girls out front of the club, like end of the night that we've done. Well, Alice, you had a lot of the beach actually. I was going to say, from Sydney, but you've done a lot of the beach.
Yeah, like Barcelona.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. There's been actually, now that I think about it, there's been a lot.
My quickest escalation ever was less than a second. This was in. Let me explain. So this was back in 2017. I was out. We were having a couple drinks with some friends when I lived in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go to the bathroom at the bar, and then the girl comes out from the bathroom, and we make like really strong eye contact, and
just a little bit longer than expected.
Yeah, no, like literally. And then I take her hand,
using his fucking technique back in the day.
I take her hand, and we just go in together, and that was it.
Done.
That was literally it.
Crazy.
That was my quickest ever.
Yeah. Damn.
To this day. Yeah.
What about you, Swifty? Do you remember
the quickest
escalation?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot, but I remember one in like 2016. The club was closing, and I saw this pretty much the hottest girl in the club. There's like 3 or 4 guys trying to AMOG each other. And I told Indian PE, he was there actually. I said, "Watch this. Okay, I'm gonna take this girl away from these guys without saying a word." Okay. Now I didn't know if I would be able to actually do it like the way I did it. So I just walked by her. I made sure I got some eye contact. I looked at her, I grinned, and I shook my head, and I just walked away. And in my head, I'm thinking, "Oh, please, Indian PE is here. It is our like second time out or something." And I started walking away, and someone grabs my arm. Okay, and I go, "Oh, I think it's her." She grabs. She's like, "Wait," and I'm like, "Jerk! Like, get off me! Get the fuck off me!" And I'm like, "Oh, I hope I didn't ruin it." She grabs me, pushes me to the side. She goes, "Wait!" And I go, "What?" And I'm being cool, like, "What do you want?" Right? Like, she doesn't know what to say. Right? Well, where do you live? And I said, "Doesn't matter." And I just walk out. Okay, like walking out like 60 seconds or 90 seconds. And I look back kind of like this. She's still following me. Okay, I'm like, yeah, she's gonna follow me right to the car. We get to the parking lot, and some guy comes out of nowhere and says, "There you are, baby. There you are." I'm like, fuck, all right, well, I just got AMOG'd, And she just pushes this guy out of the way, and it's like, I'm with him. I take her to the car. I take her to the car, and I'm like, all right, this is an easy pull, And Nitin's like, what the? Indian P is like, what the fuck? And I tried to, tag, Indian P in, but yeah, he drove us back to my place, fingered her in the car, brought her in, fucked her, and then in the morning, she's on the phone, and I hear a guy's voice. "Hey, babe, where are you? How was last night, with the girls or whatever?" And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I noticed this big fat diamond ring. And I go, shit, she's fucking married. And she's like, "Everything's good. I'm just with, Chelsea. And I spent the night because we had a few drinks. But I'll be over in a little bit, okay?" "Okay, babe, I love you." And I'm like, what the fuck?
Wow.
She gets on the phone. She calls Chelsea, "Chelsea, by the way, I was with you last night. Can you come pick me up? And you can drop me off at my place." So she said goodbye, gave a little smile, and that was it.
That was fucking crazy. That's a good story. I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
The trick is whenever you go in, okay, you always, this goes for everyone, all right? Whenever you're going into a set, always find the person closest to you and say, "Watch this," okay?
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it fucks up, okay? But when it goes well, it's gonna look like you had that shit down.
Well, I felt like I don't know. I had a feeling, a vibe. My sexual energy was there or something,
Yeah, you were charged up.
Yeah, like, look, I don't like to generalize, but the majority of the time, if you do that, it will look cool.
I don't know. I willed that shit because there was like 3 huge, massive motherfuckers like trying really hard to take this girl home, and it was closing time too. So
but that shows like
this.
Everyone talks about pre-selection, right? Like if you got hot girls with you, it always like it's like the obvious thing. Like everyone talks about pre-selection. No one talks about the pre-selection happens when you aim on 3 fucking guys. Like when you go in there and you show that, hey, I'm more confident and assertive and I care less than these 3 fucking guys, then like that's also like a form of pre-selection. The girl's like, oh damn, okay, shortcut in my mind, this guy must be fucking sick. He might twist a back kick me or something. I'm going to follow this guy.
Yeah. I mean, it communicates a lot of good things. It communicates that you've been able to get away with that kind of stuff before, because if you got negative repercussions, you probably wouldn't try it again.
True.
So that's for sure.
Do you want to spotlight Nana Das? The question.
Oh,
what is the best way to respond to shit girls throw? One time I responded to a girl's shit test with dominance and assertiveness, and she started giggling, giving me fuck me eyes or dinner bowl eyes, right? Her attraction to me increased, but you guys also advise on staying non-reactive, calm, and not try to prove yourself to her. What is the best move to make between these two, and how I know that? How do I know that?
Well, yes. So I would just like to start by saying that being dominant and being calm and non-reactive, they are not mutually exclusive. In fact, I would say that they are very much like intertwined, because being dominant is about being in control. If your emotions are all over the place, you're not in control, and your emotions probably all over the place because you don't feel in control. So
Yeah, I was going to say a good example of this is what we just watched, right? You have one guy that's very reactive, but you know, he had very little emotional composure, and I think everybody saw that. And then we saw Mark, who was assertive and dominant. He had some passion, but he had emotional composure and control. So I think that's a good comparison.
That's a really good example.
I like to think about it as being like emotionally in yourself, non-reactive. Like you should always be in control with yourself. But I've seen Swift like be very what people might consider reactive to a girl. Like he might be laughing at her, he might be like yelling at her, he might be like pushing her away, he might be like, hey, come here. Like there's a lot of charisma there. And someone might look at that from the outside with inexperience and see us like, you know, waving my hands around or some shit, and they might think, hang on, is that reactive? But the whole point is you want to be internally and emotionally calm, present, and grounded. And that way, like you can then have your behaviors that are appropriate and calibrated to what the girl is giving you. So if she gives you some shit, you can look at her and be like, hey, don't fucking do that. Right? Now it's not reactive because you're calm inside.
No, that's great. I would just add one thing to that. The thing with not being reactive, it's not about not showing emotion. It has nothing to do with that. It's about giving the girl the perception that you are very much in control of your emotions, that you're emotionally stable.
True.
That's what you want her to think.
You're reactive on your own terms.
Yes.
Right? You're not reacting to, you know, if she's a brat, if she's giving you some shit, well, she wants to see, are you going to react emotionally? Is she going to be able to manipulate you into some sort of reaction, right? So there's a big difference.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we have more.
If you want a long-term relationship like a marriage, what should I change from what you guys usually preach? I'm the marriage guy. I might as well go with that. Listen, I know you might hear a lot of this where it is at the beginning of the interaction, sounds very casual, right? That's by design, okay? If you're looking for something long-term, the girl has to earn that. So we have something in our group, either called the Swift Standard or we have the relationship funnel. The idea of this is a girl is never going to reach relationship standards or reach marriage standards until she's passed a bunch of your tests, and the tests only happen with time, with experience. So at the beginning of an interaction, like if you just met a girl on the street or you go on the first date, you don't want to be signaling to her too much interest and too much like, hey, I want to get married, how many kids do you want, blah blah.
these questions and tests need to come over time. So at the beginning, we're going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it casual, low pressure. It's going to be, sexual. She's going to have a great time. She's going to want to see you again. And then over that period, she earns more and more as a more serious dynamic in this relationship, till the point where you can ask yourself those questions. Did she pass this standard? Yes. Okay. Well, now she can earn the relationship status. And then at a certain point, she can earn the fucking ring. She can earn the marriage status. Is that something you're after?
Yeah. And I think the average guy will try to make all of this happen, sometimes too soon. The relationship or the marriage, the girl has to try to get to that point. Like Mark said, she has to earn it, right? So she has to fight for it, right? She has to earn it. And it's up to you to essentially say yes or no, right? And there's going to be small things leading up to that, right? So it's you have something very casual. She's going to try to sleep over or create a more intimate, casual dynamic, maybe not a relationship, but she's going to ask you, hey, do you want to have dinner? You want to have movies? You could say yes or no. If you say yes, then you're moving one step further to whatever she's trying to get you to, a relationship. So you have to be in control. She has to go for all of these steps.
Yeah.
Do you start going into escalation after opening?
Yeah, let's do Veronica. Okay, so Veronica just confirmed she's a very hot blonde Russian girl. So Veronica, welcome to the stream. We're glad to have you. This is amazing. Okay, do you start going into escalation after opening, or how do you guys hook, or when is the best time to start sexualizing? Sorry, boys. Just to inform you, I am Russian, so my English isn't that good. I'm very hot with big tits. Okay,
Russian model.
Yeah, Russian model. That's the fans here. Do you start going to escalation after? Yeah, this all happens kind of... fuck, I wish I could bring up a whiteboard here. The way I think about the sequences to game is there's going to be these very broad things that help you have an understanding. So at the beginning, yes, there's going to be an open. There's going to be a transition. You're going to be building value and attraction. A part of that is showing sexual value and attraction. Then there's going to be more sexual escalation. There's going to be sitting in the pool, dealing with objections and pulling. That all happens roughly in that sequence. But I often not thinking about it like that when I'm actually gaming. I don't want to get to a point where I'm just opening and then I'm just building attraction and then I'm just sexualizing and I'm just... All of this is always going to slowly build up. So when I first open a girl, I will have the longer than... I can't take the eye contact statement seriously. I will hold eye contact with them. I will speak loud. I will get a little bit closer. Now, I know it's not the sexualization part of the routine, but that's where I'm going to start and that's going to build up. So it's going to kind of merge into each other. But as a general sense, yes, it's a good guide to have in terms of sequence.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice. I totally agree. From where to start if I have approach anxiety? Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you just have to go out and do it. You just have to push yourself. At the end of the day, there's no magic trick here.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you... Oh, sorry, go Swift.
No. I was going to say you could baby step it, right? So asking for directions, small things like that. But I think you should absolutely try first to do the thing that stresses you out the most, right? So you could kind of revert back to hey, what time is it? Directions, that kind of thing. But at least every single day, go out there and think about what stresses you out the most. What gives you the most anxiety, approaching a group set or opening a particular way. And at least try to do it as many times as possible or just one time. Because if you could do that, let's say for 1 week straight, you're going to get over a lot of that anxiety a lot quicker. Right. If you baby step it, it could take a little bit longer, but that could be a little bit more effective because you have a little bit more compliance with yourself to get to that point. So I would first try to do the thing that is the most scary, try to get over that. If that's really not working, then you could sort of baby step your compliance. Right. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to add to that reflection on mindsets. So I agree with these guys. Just get the fuck out there, do the hardest thing you can if you can. And then just reflect on the mindset, right? Reflect on the narrative that you create, because you might fall into what I would think of as the RSD trap,
where you might go out there and do 1,000 approaches, but after each approach, you tell yourself like, fuck, I'm just not good enough, and fuck, that sucked. And you could do 1,000 and you're still going to feel shitty. This is going to work if at the end of that approach, you tell yourself, that was fucking ballsy. That was great. These are the things that I can improve. That girl reacted well. Then yeah, like you're going to get over this really fucking quick. We got a lot of approach anxiety content, again, in the mastermind, but Bogdan, you might be in there. So fucking read the approach anxiety stuff, bro. But yeah, all right, easy. Okay, boys, we're about to hit the 2-hour mark. I think we had a good one.
Yeah, this was a great.
That was fun.
Great one.
Yeah, we're gonna do more of these. We will. I think our plan is every second week. Okay, so we'll be back. But obviously, if you want more, just message Alex on Instagram. He's available like 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to live
calls and hang out. Yeah, it's like totally free. So.
Just for you guys. So fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he actually enjoys it. So, but no, honestly, if you do want to find out more information about Bali, you can hit Alex up. And if you want information about the mastermind, there's a link right here that says, UMPuniversity.com, free trial there in the description. All right. So I will appreciate you joining.
Rite of passage, Budapest. It's not going to be in Warsaw anymore. It's going to be in Budapest.
Yes, true.
14-day pure immersion, every day, all day, game.
Yeah.
Boom.
2 weeks. If you guys are interested in that too, hit me up. I will put a link down in the description where you guys can contact me about that. Right here, beneath us, right there, is the link to the Mastermind 2-week free trial. Click it, sign up. It's going to be the best decision of your life if you're interested in getting better at this stuff.
Hey, don't be an Eric in the world of Alex. Okay.
Exactly. Remember, guys, always offer consent.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on, real quick. You're gonna make sure you ask for consent before you end this live stream. So.
You can when you join the mastermind, you can download the UMP consent forms.
Hey, baby, can we end this? Can we end this stream, baby?
Yeah. Do I have permission to click end stream?
Please.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
A little bit faster.